how much that I love you. Let me tell you, me once it. Let me tell you how much that I love you. You found me no search. It's like you knew that inside I was hurting. I was so young, said no chance. But you gave me a shot at a romance. I feel like you were like an angel sent to bring me life. Now that I'm with you, me want say that me love it, that me love it, that me love. Hey, me no go one day wonder. What up, my baby, that me love, that me love. And I dance and sing and I sing because you make my life complete. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's for me. Shut up, 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 shut up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's for me. I've never felt this way. So when they ask us, say, oh yeah, we're going all the way. Tell me we happy, love you all the time and things. Sometimes I wonder if the thing could cut us under, to get under. I know, but your love in my life control that. I lay down my life this way, do anything to make you stay. All of the blessings they come my way, and all the bad things they turn away. Sometimes life is such a scare. Your love gives me the strength to bear. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's for
me. You better hit that note. Do it again, friend. Okay, now I want you to inhale a little bit more. Inhale a little bit more, and when we get to the end, I want you to crescendo and hit that high note that you did for me last week. Go.
Okay. Me.
That's it, right? Every time.
Every
my soul.
Every time. Greetings. Listen, I've been running around my house with a t-shirt, no panties on, like a crazy person, talking to Jazzy Gems on this goddamn phone because she done sent me this link to watch her and her daughter on this Facebook live they just did. And it has blown my mind. I'm sitting in their bathroom on the toilet doing the portal opening. Now I'm understanding how they have me put my hands together inside of the triangle pyramid and how I do the opening of the portal. But I understand now that I was missing a step. See, I was doing full circles. You got to hit it as a triangle when you are opening the portal. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have made so much shit make sense to me. And if you took my opening and closing the portal 2 classes, you should understand exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to try to calm myself down because me and Jazzy was just on the phone. She did the video with her daughter. Her daughter is 19 and her other one is 10. And I kept saying, ain't no way that this baby is 10 years old. But she was like, no, that's my 19-year-old. But still, her wisdom at 19 is ridiculous. Okay, this baby said, because y'all know they supposedly found this submarine. Everything she said made so much sense as to what I've been saying through Yehuda for the last 2-3 days. Jazzy, greetings, Jazzy, greetings, Malika.
Greetings.
So look, let's start with where we going? Because my mind is like, I didn't tell her because she and her daughter had broke down going down into the water. They were looking. Her daughter says they went down there because they're looking for it. Atlantis, as you know, I call it Atlantis. And I'm like, oh my God. And then Spirit showed it to me. If you do the etymology of Adena, A-D-N-A, the alpha of the DNA, Adena, if you do etymology on those letters itself in that way, A-D-N-A, what will pop up is the word Eden, which is what you will find in the Bible. They tell you it's the Garden of Eden. Child, when we're looking at Eden, we are looking at Atlantis aka Atlantis. They are looking for the gate, the opening, the portal of Atlantis. Child, they done went down to the bottom of the sea trying to find it. Come on, Jazzy, man. She put up this picture of her Bible that she has, and it is a dome. It almost looked like a dome with fucking legs. And she, her and her daughter broke down Yaqub and how Yaqub was underground. What happened was, for me, as I'm driving one day, y'all remember I'm on the live and I'm talking to y'all about Teglatron, aka Yaqub, and he was talking about how the world had been flipped upside down, and he was talking about going under the ground, and he was talking about the Grand Canyon. All of that shit makes sense now, understanding what she just showed in this goddamn book. Malika, do you remember that?
I do, and I also remember the portals class, and you going into the hands and the directions and what that means for opening and closing a portal. If you haven't watched that class, that one's on your site too, right, Quatita? Mm-hmm. Make sure that you get that. I'm sorry, I got food in my mouth. Make sure that you get that class, because there's also a part that Quatita and I were just speaking the other day about that I give gratitude to, which is the prayer of protection that you do before work, and writing your own and what that looks like and how to do that. So make sure that you get that. But yes, Fran, I remember.
Okay. Now, Jazzy, what's that book you just put out?
That was the Bible.
Okay. Show them that picture for me, please.
Okay.
There it is. Put it over to the other. There you go. Now, go ahead and break that down. Explain what it is that they're looking at.
So, the earth is flat. I can't get my angles right. Okay, there we go. So, the earth is flat. The earth has a dome on top of it, right? So, the dome that's on top of the earth is this. Because I teach in my lessons that the Garden of Eden is in your mind.
Absolutely.
And I teach that knowledge is seeds, and whatever seeds you plant in your garden, that's what type of tree gonna grow. And when people eat the fruit off your tree, it's either you got righteous fruit or you got wicked fruit. And if people eat the wicked fruit, which means you ain't tending to your garden and you ain't getting your emotions together and you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, you produce a wicked fruit. And your wicked fruit is going to produce wicked offsprings in the earth.
Now, let me respond to exactly what you're saying. Now, like I said, as I'm watching your live, Jazzy, I'm in there commenting like I'm in this live, and the live is over, but I'm talking. Now, what I said was, because what you had said, it made this register to me. Because y'all was talking about time and space, right? And I said, oh my God, they told me before that space is the time continuum, okay? There is no time. So then it registered to me, and I put this in your live chat. I said, oh my God, we're ageless beings. We only age because we think so.
Correct. That's why they said birthday rituals, singing happy birthday. And I don't celebrate birthdays. And people be like, why? Because you cursing yourself.
I'm ageless, so I don't even know how old I am. I'm 43. Bitch, I'm nothing. I'm life.
We infinite.
I'm infinite.
That's why you doing them past life readings, because that's you. You in the past lives.
I just watched this movie called Synchronic about taking this pill. And when you take this pill for 7 minutes, it takes you into different dimensions of time that's still existing while we're existing.
Red pill, blue pill.
Come on. We're ageless beings. Go ahead, Jazzy.
Okay, so I wanted to break this down.
Go ahead.
I broke this down last night. So last night I watched Governess Quatita video about Adina. Remember I called you last night. I was like, I've been wanting to watch something in my spirit, like you need to rewatch that. So I go on there and you like, the last name Dean is DNA. So I'm like, where was I at 4 years ago when I watched this? That bell didn't go off in my head 4 years ago, right? So Our last name is Eden, and it is the DNA. So let me break down our last name. So our last name is Decim, right? Decim is Dean means valley, right? The valley means a place of refuge and a place of rest. Refuge is a shelter or a protection from danger or a distress. So we naturally protect people, right? So it's like, remember when we was on the live, I was telling you, me and my cousin, I always tell you that I was like, me and my cousins, that's Deans. Whenever we see somebody that ain't right around you, our blood be going crazy. Remember I told you that?
Yes.
I didn't understand what that meant, but now I do, because we are the protectors. That's why when we see somebody doing something wrong, it bothers us. Like how we found out they lying to us, so we just like, hey y'all, they lying. You know, we telling. So it's like, so the protection breakdown to the Latin word 10, because decadium means 10, right? 10 means to hold custody. Custody mean warden, and the warden mean, y'all ready for this drum roll? The warden mean governess.
Gratitude.
Governance. So listen. So this is why we in the position that we in to get this information from the spiritual realm. And my daughter is proof that we doing this, because I just told you when I was a child, I could do this. I was talking to the spiritual realm, and my family put me in a psych ward and put me on medication and told me I was crazy. So remember where I said I got to break down scientific facts to make it not make sense. And I want to say this right quick, and then I'm gonna give you the mic back. So out of this book right here, it's about the weather. It's an old book. I know I got books, but it say the earth is enveloped by a vast ocean of air called the atmosphere. So the air is the ocean.
Yes, it is. It's
So
water.
that's what's over the dome, right? All the oxygen, all of it, right? That's water. So it say at the bottom of this ocean lives man. The total depth is about 100 miles. At great heights, the air is very thin, so that the half of the weight of the atmosphere is contained to the lowest 3.5 miles. The lower part is in the state of the constant turmoil, the very effects of which are recognized as the weather. So the weather, we control the weather, but we all arguing and can't get along, and they use trickology to program our computers, and it affects the way we see things. And then when you know, they say your eyes can play tricks on you, because if somebody putting trickology in your eyes gonna project off that trickology. So that's how we tricked and stuck in this matrix, because they programming us to create the matrix. We the creators of the universe and whatever they make. So on my live that we just did, me and my daughter was breaking down how the photons is what keep everything together, because we the cells. The cells is the soul. That's the molecules. That's the atom. So I said spirit was coming through on that live. You could tell. So I was like, so I bet the phones got melanin in them. So I looked up the phones. The phones got melanin in them. And we the ones that's charging up these phones and these laptops.
Because it has crystals, Jazzy. Nothing electrical can work without the crystal beings, which is us in our melanin.
So we the allspark. We the allspark on Transformers that they came here to look for.
Yes. I'm getting ready to break this down. Girl, please. Okay. She ain't gonna sit back like that, Malika.
Listen, I'm doing the same thing. Sometimes I just have to sit back and receive and learn. And that is exactly what I'm doing right now.
Let me read y'all this scripture real quick. This is out of Genesis, the beginning. Chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Now, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that
That's
the
the
light was
soul.
good. Huh?
That's the soul when the soul was created.
Come through. Okay, because this is why I'm reading it, because it made so much sense now. So when we're talking about the vault between the waters and the separation from the waters, right? So God made the vault and separated the waters under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. God called the vault sky, and there was evening and there was morning the second day. Now, so when y'all was saying that, and we were talking about the submarine and going and looking for Atlantis, which is made so much sense because again, y'all, this is what blew me away, and I haven't said it yet, but this is what fucked me up on a live, bro. Spirit said the other day on my live, the war in the cosmos have come down, and I was so confused. And then Yehuda was saying that they went under the water, they're looking for something, and he said, "We will not fall." He said, "If you come in, we will destroy it." Right? Okay. So when Jazzy and her daughter is talking, her daughter say, and she shows this picture that she just showed of the Bible, the dome and the flatness. And I'm understanding to go up, they must go down. They must go down into the water's atmosphere and go down, which will bring them back up.
As above, so below.
Come the fuck on, bro. They can't figure it out. They can't get off of this fucking plane. They can't get off. They can't find the Adina to open up the gate. They're trying to go back through the garden to get out. It's impossible for them.
Because they can't vibrate. They can't vibrate past a 33. That's why they said Jesus died at the age of 33, because they knew it was 33 masters on the planet. Quatita, what's your number?
33.
My number 33. And my daughter that's 19 that was breaking that down is a 22. And today is 22. And what is 22?
A God number. 22 is the God number.
The creator. She's an architect. She's the master of the universe. We just looked this up earlier. Like, so yeah. A lot of people is 22s and don't even know it. And a lot of people 32s don't know it.
Jazzy, break down the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. So with the the fact that deaconess means guardian, warden of the universe, the protector, the governess, the warden, the one with the DNA, the one with the Adina gene, that's your birthright, right? But you got to think, a lot of us was on plantations and our names got changed, so a lot of us don't know who he is because we behind somebody else's name. So it don't mean the physical name. We ain't gonna get caught up and be like, if your last name ain't Dean. No, because like how Malika, her husband last name Dean. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it be, because think about where her husband, let's say her husband mother maiden name is Dean. Her husband got his father last name. So her children gonna automatically have a different last name, but they still got that gene in them. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people got that gene in them, and they last name different. They don't know don't know who they is because they changed our identity. That's the Willie Lynch syndrome. Mm-hmm. That was them portals. Remember, we was like them dimensions. So a lot of people stuck in portals they ain't got no business being in. Okay. So the existence of the realms is 10 planes, and so the planes of esotericism. So it's the original concepts of the planes of existence. So this is the conceptions in the ancient traditions, esoteric concepts. So these are mad concepts, right? These are wait a minute, hold on. What is that other paper? Y'all, I'm so excited. I got stuff everywhere. I can't even
I'm telling you, I'm so excited. Like, it was so much that they were even saying and breaking down on your live, like you and your daughter. Like, I'm commenting in this chat like the live is still going, and it's not, but I have to put it down somewhere. I have to say it because I'm screaming inside. Like, it's making so much sense. Now, again, I keep mentioning that they done found this submarine. Malika, please speak on that real quick for me. They're supposed to be also doing some kind of press conference about it.
So As of yesterday, what I saw, and I'm sure you're aware of the submarine situation, cousins, but if you're not, there is a man who has been working. He's supposed to be well known for discovering things about the Titanic and studying the Titanic wreckage. He's supposed to be like the most educated man on this subject. So he created a submarine that, oh, I'm not going to laugh. Don't laugh. It's not the right time to do that. He created a submarine that would take down these rich people. It's a bunch of millionaires. They paid $250,000 each to go down deep into the ocean, about 2 miles, I believe it is, to go and see the wreckage. Now, mind you, the submarine is not see-through. So what we are saying is they are going all the way down to the bottom of the ocean. And then when they pull up to the Titanic, there is a TV screen inside the submarine, and they look at the TV screen to see the wreckage. On top of that, the machine is run by a PlayStation remote. Not the exact PlayStation remote, but the same people that made that remote worked on this one. So it's pretty much, anyway, they went down there and they haven't been able to find them. It's been days. They had a limited amount of air supply. As of, I heard 2 different things: that this rising, that there would be no more oxygen left, that they would have depleted their oxygen supply. And then I also heard that as of midnight last night, their oxygen supply would have been depleted. They said maybe 6 to 10 hours prior to running out of oxygen, the news had released and said that they heard banging, and now they know where to locate the submarine because they could pick up banging sounds coming from under the water where they were. I'm trying to get this all together for y'all. I'm sorry. I'm trying to digest it at the same time.
That shit don't even make sense.
So they swam around looking for the submarine, and they heard banging noises from their equipment, and that's how they targeted their location. But I don't know if there wasn't a rush.
You know how big a fucking submarine is.
But you know what, Quachita? This looked like a water pump. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Serious. You know the water pumps, like in the backyard, like how we got a well and it's a water pump. This is what this looked like. And then I saw articles on the fact that the man that was running this program, he also had stated that he does not work with the individuals who are well versed in this technology or this work, because most of them are ex-Marine, and I guess he doesn't like the energy that they come with, so he doesn't allow them to work. So his crew is a majority of like newbies. And when you're going to those depths of water, I would think that you would want the individuals who are well versed, regardless of what they act like. You come in here to work, get this work done. So even that in itself is frightening. And then to charge $250,000. I made a joke. I said they all been at the plastic surgeon's office, and they never got on the sub, and their families are filing life insurance claims right now, because this is very outlandish to me. And to have that much money, like, I'm not there, so I don't want to speak on behalf of them, Quatita and Jazzy. However, when I think about it, when you have that much money, you have a lot of rational thinking and processes that you're going through. How do you analyze this piece of equipment, see what it's being ran with, and convince yourself that this is a good idea?
Because they're lying.
Absolutely.
They are in one of the most top of the arts machine vessel ever fucking created, bro. They are lying. First of all, the motherfucker is something about it being able to travel in and out of time, or I keep seeing it disappear, meaning this motherfucker has an ability to be invisible. They are fucking lying, man. This is a top of the line motherfucking contraption that they are in. They have been working on this type shit, this technology and engineering for more than 20 years. That is a fucking lie, bro. That is a lie. And I'm no longer going to let these people do it. Every time I look at something, I'm going to start reading that shit. Come on, Jazzy, go ahead, speak.
I just got a download. That's what all there was about.
Capsule. What they showing you is not the real thing.
No, okay, this download.
Go ahead, Jazzy.
This download they just ooh, this download they just showed me. So walk with me if y'all will. So they go down in the water in these aircrafts. So when they go down in the aircrafts, we just read that the dome is on top of the earth and the water on top of the earth. And then we just read that the air is considered the water, right? So it just get dense. So it's not that it's not liquefied, it just get dense as it goes up. So it's still hydrogen, right? But it's in the form of oxygen. That's them elements, right? So that's what my daughter was breaking off about the photons. Like, the photons is what's keeping us here, because the photons can't go into that density, right? So they just showed me that when they go down in the water with these aircrafts, we see them up in the sky, and we call them UFOs because we don't realize that the submarines is down in the water and we can see them in the sky.
Cause period. There's a book called Beheld a Pale Horse by William Cooper, bro. In this book, he talks about being in the Navy, and he was standing on the motherfucking ship, and he said the water opened up like a tsunami, bro, and the motherfucking ships was coming in and out of the water. And when he went to tell his admiral, he cussed him the fuck out, and he said by the time he was done, he said, "Now what did you see?" He said, "I saw nothing."
I've seen that. And Admiral Byrd, we went to war with Antarctica in 1940. Admiral Byrd, he was on the aircraft, and when he was in the center of up in Antarctica, they sucked his ship in. Like, how on Independence Day when Will Smith go to the thing and they pull his ship in, they pulled Admiral Byrd's ship in, and they told him that that was the Aryan race. So in Hellboy they showed him people that got the white hair and the red eyes, they the following. They was them people. And they got us Crystal City in Antarctica, which
Oh shit! What the fuck? Whoa, Jazzy?
Yeah, I'm here.
That's crazy. That completely took you fucking out.
Listen, I was just gonna say, if mine cuts out, it's starting to storm and thunder again like last time. And we lost power for
They don't want us to talk about it.
Hey, y'all, we control the weather. We control the weather. We could do a mass meditation and shut everything down. That's the problem. They don't want us to know who we is.
And that's exactly what he talked about the other day. Dracula, the talk. Listen, the Bermuda Triangle, I've always known as a portal. But I believe that this portal, it has taken so many people. Come on. And I believe it is something, I don't want to say to the center of the earth, but it's something up under it, which was above it. And they know they don't want us to. Okay, go ahead. Never mind. Just go ahead, Jesse.
It's something in Japan too that's like a Bermuda Triangle. I don't know what it is, but I was cutting this man hair. The fact I used to cut hair, I don't think people realize, like, I used to cut architects' hair, archaeologists' hair. Oh, the fact archaeologists, they stole the Ark of the Covenant. That's why they call archaeologists. And they stole our artifacts, you feel me, out the earth. That's why they archaeologists. They dig in the earth and steal our stuff. They study us. And then remember, one live long time ago, you had said when they was going to the moon, which is in the water, because the moon, if you look, the moon is a hologram. The moon existed first, and the moon created the sun, right? So we see the holograph of the moon, because the moon is the bottom of the ocean. We just see the holograph of it, right? That's why I be telling people study the moon, because you is the moon.
Now that makes sense. When I was drowning when I was 3, the bottom of the lake opened up. It looked like a big ass moon. It was a big ass light. That makes sense to me.
And remember you said they went to the moon and they got real estate on the moon?
Yes.
And you said they got to put the melanin on the ship to make the ship run.
Yes. Wow.
And melanin costs $800 a gram. I broke that down on my live yesterday.
Yes.
Melanin is $800 a gram. So think about your weight and how many grams of melanin you got in your body. And y'all stop taking melatonin. because when you take the melatonin, it's making your body overactive, and then you have a chemical imbalance in your body, and then your body stop producing the original melanin. It start producing artificial melanin because they basically is feeding you to yourself. That's what's on the back of this dollar, and Norva Osiclosa, when it's the snake eating itself. They got you eating yourself, consuming yourself. That's why
why
we the
do that
consumers.
gene editing, where they can splice your genes by you going through this, taking this thing. Somebody said to me last night, it's about gene editing. Like, don't involve yourself in none of this shit. They need you to be broken down.
That's why they doing surgery on everybody. All these girls think it's lit to go get these.
No,
BBLs.
they want you to not be considered human, but
they
can't
dissecting you.
Yes.
And then Quatita, I gotta laugh. You had said something about the chicken. So my mama got on one of my laughs, and my mama was like, "Yeah, that's how they cloning everybody is through the chicken." And so my mama was like, think about it. Everybody got the same fat. Everybody back fat. Everybody look the same. Everybody dressed the same. Everybody, that's how they control you with uniformity. So they got you uniform into this world instead of uniforming into your spirit. See, that's why we come in, because we the guardians of the galaxy. So we gonna, you feel me, get everybody on the right path.
Even when you say that, understanding the galaxy as being the multi-dimensionals, the universe, which is all of us. So we're guarding each other. Like, we're supposed to be, come on. Okay, come on.
And that's what Malika broke down on the live the other day, that they gonna have to go back and watch that when she.
Oh shit. We can't hear you. You're frozen. We can't hear you. There you go. You're back. Okay. You said Malika did what? Say what now? Say it again.
When she was breaking down, when we was on the live the other day, and she was breaking down the twin flames on how, when we were talking about it's 100 you, because the Brahma, I study the Brahma. The Brahma teaches you that it's 100 versions of you in the universe. And the Brahma sit all 100 of you down, you the Brahma. But you got to sit all versions of yourself down and get everybody on one accord. So once you get the 100 versions of, that's the movie 100. So once you get the 100 versions of yourself and master them 100 versions of yourself, that get your star lit in the universe, and your star going to reflect light and energy and transmit the other stars.
Man, I'm about to be like Malika and just sit back and listen, because we got Z energy in the motherfucking building. And we all of us come in on the study of this from different planes. Z studies a lot of the underworld workings, the underground and demonology and all these different things, and I fucking love it. Greetings, Z.
Greetings. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay, I got my little squad back there.
Okay, they're perfectly fine.
Okay.
Have you been listening a little bit?
I caught a little bit of it, like coming in when you was talking about like the earth and stuff.
Okay.
I caught a little bit coming in, and I was trying to map out a lot of things that I was talking about, such as like a Hecate and all them, different gods and Greek gods and stuff like that. So I'm doing a lot of research on that too as well.
What do you know about under the water, under the seas, above, so below? What do you know about it? Let's go into that from your perspective.
From what I'm seeing and from what I'm reviewing, that the ocean is a space itself. It governs the universe. So it's a reflection from above. So when you say so below and so above, it's the same scenario. It's exactly the same scenario.
Yes.
So that's embedded in us as well. So when we close our eyes, we see darkness. And that darkness is the abyss of the universe.
So I've been seeing these pictures and these statues of lions and horses and different figures of kakusas, animals, but they all have serpent bodies. I was kind of floored to understand that this is a quote unquote, for lack of a better word to say for people to understand, deity. It was a lion with your daughter looked just how I knew she did. I knew she had locks that looked just like that before I ever seen her. I knew she looked just like that. Absolutely beautiful too. So I seen that. Do any one of y'all know about that or ever seen that? The lion with the serpent body? Come on, Jazz.
Okay, so on that Pinocchio, when I was telling you to watch Pinocchio on Netflix, Pinocchio is gone because he wanted to be a real boy, and the angels, the cherubims, and all of that created him, right? So when he become a real boy, he remember I told you he sold his soul to the music industry.
Yes.
Y'all gotta go watch this shit.
You said it's on Netflix, right?
Yep, Pinocchio, when he a wood little boy.
Yeah.
So okay, so he ended up sacrificing his life for Geppetto. And Geppetto is time, representation of time. So he sacrificed his life for Pinocchio. And I mean, Pinocchio sacrificed his life for Geppetto. And he had to go before the lion, which is the Lion of Giza, that is the oracle. And this lion has a serpent body. And it, it talk about it in the Bible, like it got different heads and it got different body. It got wings like a bird, and it got like a hippopotamus body, and it got the serpent. It's a lot of different animals that's like conjoined. And when he got to in front of this animal, they had a time glass with the sand in it, and the sand represents your time here on earth. And it was like, you know how an hourglass is. They flipped the hourglass, and Pinocchio basically had to sit in that realm with that deity until the last grain of sand came, then he could return back to the earth. So that's like consider like the reincarnation process. But okay. It's the Lion of Giza, the ancient Sphinx.
Okay.
So I was looking once you said that, Quatita, I was looking it up, and I see the I don't know if it's chimera or chimera, and that's the body of a lion, the head of the ram, and the serpent tail. But then I also see the serpapard, which is from ancient Egyptian and Mesopotamian cultures. And it says that it's a combination of serpent and leopard. Now, on these photos that they have on here, the upper body, the neck and the head the neck is very serpent-like, and some have the head of the lion and the body of the lion with the neck with the serpent in between. But to me, looking at this also, I'm trying to figure out why they didn't give the giraffes the credit, because this looks more like a giraffe to me, but I could just be biased because I'm a giraffe. But it looks like it. So I'm digging to find out exactly what they're saying the representation was in those cultures. Now, one other thing that I wanted to say earlier, Quatita, is I love that you're touching back on this, because I know you teach a lot. So sometimes you forget certain things you've talked to us about. But you had this conversation with us on live. I'm sure Nalia remembers it, because Nalia had triggered it in me when she was saying that she feels like it's opposites, like, or that the sea is really space and space is the sea. And we were talking about Sandy from SpongeBob and the firmament that she lives in on SpongeBob, and that it's surrounded by water. Although when she's in there, it looks like it's the sky. When they show like scenes, it looks like it's the sky, but it's water all around her. You only know it's water when she leaves those scenes, because she has on her astronaut helmet, which is also representing that when she leaves, she's in space, but she's in the water. So I wanted to remind you of that also, just in case you didn't remember.
Gratitude. So that is just like the young lady who's past Eon reading that I did, and I kept saying, I think you were a first lady, like aviator, but I don't want to say aviator. I almost want to say astronaut, but I don't think you're an astronaut. I see you have the big astronaut helmet and suit, but I think you're going under the water. And she fucking found her, you know? And so that makes a lot of sense as well, because let me just breathe, bro. I feel like my mind is going a million miles a motherfucking minute. I done lost my train of thought. I don't even know I need to make me some more tea. I'm gonna just sit back and absorb all of it because it all makes sense to me. And all I know is I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead, y'all. Somebody talk.
I was gonna say if y'all remember the movie called The Chronicles of Narnia.
Yes, we were talking about it the other night. Go ahead, Z.
Yeah, the name of the lion is named Aslan. Aslan. I have some information on him as well, but that's just one of his forms. So that same lion that y'all talking about is that lion in Narnia.
Quatita was just talking about this the other day, and I cannot remember how the connection that she gave us, because Charming had brought it up in the chat, and I can't see the chat right now, so I don't know if Charming is here, but she had connected the line. Let me see if it's in the chat. Also, Jazzy, when you said the thing in regards, when you were explaining about melanin and them wanting to utilize melanin for activities on the moon and us being connected to the moon as well, and then the melanin, so that they had to coat the spaceships with melanin back in the day, so the rockets, so that they could break through the atmosphere. Like, that's from what I've read, they had to coat it with a form of melanin, they say. But I'm looking at how that is, they continue to go back, because, okay, cousins in the chat, we had that talk about piezoelectricity, about quartz crystals, about triboluminescence in crystals, and how we connect to that, and why crystals work the way they do, because we are a direct reflection of them. As we know, we are crystals, right? When you look at it, just like they continue to tap into these crystals and break through the earth to use crystals to power the things that we use in our everyday lives, they're using melanin in the same exact way, because, as Jazzy said, they're requiring it for the moon. We know that they used it for the rockets. And now with AI, they've been doing studies as well. It's been a few years now that they've been doing these studies of electromagnetism in melanin. Now, they say they get the melanin from the feathers of black birds and other animals, whatever. Sounds like where my placenta went. Right. They are using that to study powering robotics and AI in our future. So melanin itself would be powering this AI that they're bringing in right now. So I just wanted to mention that also.
I also want to elaborate how the hospitals is actually using it as well. But I want to go into the plasma banks as well. So everybody that knows somebody that donating plasma, that's another way of extracting your melanin as well, through the plasma, because the donors in the plasma game is like it's very high. You know, we all know somebody that's donating plasma somewhere in the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I donated for years.
Yeah, so they got to fill these little bottles up at the plasma center. You know what I mean? And that's another way of extracting the plasma from the human body. And not only that, you know what I'm saying, they're using that to make weapons and all kind of stuff out of it. You know what I mean?
Wait, Jazzy, come off mute. Jazzy sending SOS signals through her paper and pen.
Okay. They ain't want me to get on the camera. That's vampire. Vampires want the plasma. So I done broke down the plasma because we the aboriginals. We the aboriginal bloodline, and they need our blood. And like you was just saying, they stealing our placentas, and they also stealing our stem cells. That's why all the women in the 70s had to get hysterectomies. In the 90s, they told people something was wrong with their uterus, and they took everybody. Think about all the people we know that's under 30 with a hysterectomy. They had fibroid tumors. You get fibroid tumors from the food you eat, right? The hormones in the chicken. I'm just saying, chicken full of hormones. Y'all better quit eating it because that's cloning. And Quatita, you was saying, I don't care where you go in the world, they got a chicken restaurant. And Cat Williams said the realest stuff to me. Cat Williams said the chicken got two wings, right? And it got 2 legs. So how was it a wing shortage?
That part. How they even, like you said, populating all of these places? We talking about restaurants, stores. Like, come on now, come on.
And don't nobody got no chickens. I mean, down in the South, a couple people got chickens, but everybody in the city ain't got no chicken coop. Where is all these chickens coming from? So then I also happen to know that the rooster, so Dr. York, I've been studying Dr. York for years, but Dr. York tell you they created the pig. The pig is a mixture of muskrat, rats, and some other creatures, but Yakub created the pig when he was splicing stuff so they could eat the filth out the Caucasus Mountains, because they went in the Caucasus Mountains and got this other species. So we went down and released this. So I do know it's a movie called The Return of the Mayans, 2012. And they tell you they went down in the water and they released the reptilians. The Mayans, the one put the reptilians inside the case. We are the Mayans, but they done changed our name so much we don't know who we is. That's why we got to study the Olmec history. That's why we got to study South America, because everybody's so busy trying to be from Africa and we forgetting that the Americas was the original mound builders, because this is Egypt. We is really in Egypt. Like, you could go watch cowboy movies, and in the cowboy movies, they will tell you that this is Jerusalem and Bethlehem and all them ancient holy cities in the Bible. And people be like, the Bible ain't real, but you could go watch an old cowboy movie and they'll start naming off these cities. I'm done, y'all. I'm done.
It's so interesting to me to see how, I was telling Quatita this the other day, Jazzy, when you connected to the movies, because I'm a movie watcher, but I don't watch too many movies. Like, a lot, Quatita will be like, she'll say a line from a movie and it'll be like a joke, and I'll take it seriously. Like, wait, but who's Rebecca? She's like, girl, that's the line from this and this and that movie. So I'm not like, but it's so beautiful and interesting to me to see how much of the information is embedded into these movies. And I still get those feelings, though, with knowing how much you connected with movies as well, our experience and the history and the secrets that they've embedded in there that they won't tell us directly, because as we know, they have to tell it somehow, some way. But I wonder the setup in that, because when it's like truth, like here and now truth, the individuals who create those movies are removed from this existence, this physical existence. So do you ever, when you're watching these movies and you're gathering the information, do you notice, I want to put this in the right terms, do you notice that it's only things that have already passed, or do you see things that are coming or things that are currently happening?
So I guess it's a gift, because I don't care what I watch. If you had me watch Sesame Street, I'm a fan of hidden symbology, and I'm gonna do a tutorial on Sesame Street. Right? You know, it don't matter what I see. Like, okay, so like I was out in nature. I have dyslexia, so let's say that I got dyslexia, so I know I see the world different. And then I have a stigmatism in my left eye, so I had looked that up, and I see that my soul has an opening in it. When you have a stigmatism in your eye, it has an opening, a small opening in it. So you see the world a little bit different, and everybody see the world differently. That's the thing. Like, just because you see a chicken, I might see an exotic bird. Quatita might say she see a mutated hen. I mean, we could go on and on about what we see, but we all saw a bird at the end of the day.
So the ancestors utilize it to give you the message. Because I feel like that's what happens with me with music. Like I'll start singing a song out of nowhere and somehow it connects to what's going on. Okay. So I just wanted to see, because I know how Quatita receives it. So I wanted to see what your experience is with that, because I noticed that alignment. Sorry, cousins, I didn't mean to throw us off track. I also wanted to know, Z Energy, what are your thoughts and what's your opinions on this missing submarine? Because you weren't here for that part of the conversation earlier. So
no, I just think it's a big distraction, like it always have been. I mean, because they always throw a lot of stuff to block a lot of things on TV. So they'll play a whole new different scenario somewhere else, and everybody be focused on that one situation. But they really having something else going on right here. So everybody focus be way over. Oh, let's find a submarine with the white guy on it. You know what I mean? And we don't give two. we the black community don't care about that. You know what I mean? They care about celebrities and gospel and all that stuff over here. But that's how you reframe somebody's mind, and you kind of misdirection, misguide them every time, and they still be throwing it in your face on this side.
Yeah, and that's why I align with what Quatita and Jazzy are saying as well in regards to and Jazzy, I'm gonna go back and watch her live, because I just got the link for the StreamYard and jumped on. But when Jazzy was explaining with her daughter on her live earlier, Jazzy, can you give that breakdown one more time so Z Energy can know exactly what's going on in regards to what they're looking for, or what the equipment would be looking for?
So they claim nobody know where the Garden of Eden is, right? So we just was okay. So we was talking the other day, and we figured out our last names is Portals, right? So our last names is directly connected to our bloodline, right? So we went back in the bloodline to figure out who he is, right? Because we got the ability to uncode our ciphers, right? Our ciphers is the 0, that's the cell. So we start breaking down the cell, the circle, how it's 360, how it's 9, how it's the ethers. And we started talking about the earth, the alchemist symbols. The earth is like the pyramid, and when you turn it upside down, that's the earth, and the air look like that. So we was bringing together how the elements come together as above and so below. So what I understand that to be is like this: Eve and Lilith was in the garden together, and that's symbology for your devil Lilith. Because remember, Quatita, on the video Mama Adina, you broke down that Lucifer is Lilith.
Yes.
So that's our left brain. That's our left brain, right? Our right brain is Eve, right? That's Mama Adina. That's the mitochondria gene, right? But we call that our masculine part of our brain, because we don't understand that don't got nothing to do with sex. Like, we don't understand masculine, feminine energy, because everybody language, like I speak French, everybody language has a masculine and a feminine principle, except for English. English is the most low vibrational cursive language. When we say we fail from frequency, we fail from speaking, because Hebrew is a language. Ahadamic is a language that the Ethiopians speak. Arab is what they speak in the Middle East. And when you listen to the people at the store, y'all know the people at the store, we all live in the hood. They be like, they speaking with frequency, right? We just speak monotone. Our voice don't really change. It just be like, you know what I'm saying? Every other, even the Mexican guy, he be like, hey,
Koreans especially. Absolutely. Koreans especially, yes.
Yeah, we the only one that just monotone. And we the only people that don't only speak one language. You go to Africa, you can meet a baby that speaks 7 different languages. and it's a baby, and you be looking like, I'm grown as heck. I only speak English. And then none of us study linguistics. Well, some of us do, but most of our people don't study linguistics, nor do we know about etymology, nor do we even know it's different types of dictionary. Dictionaries is how you dictate your word. So if the word is God and you the word, the universe is a collection of words. We off key because ain't we all talking. That's the Tower of Babel that they built, Babylon, to keep us confused, like what he said. That's the distraction, the confusion. And then, Quatita, you said Lucifer, left side of the brain, is the controller of entertainment.
Yes.
So the entertainment stems from the left brain, feminine energy. So this is how so the word entertainment, the way I got dyslexia, I know that means entertain the soul.
Got it. I want to also say what we were talking about earlier when you were speaking. I said, "Oh shit," that registers as them separating the languages. Like everybody sees something different. Everybody speaks differently. We ain't just talking about dialect. We're talking about you may be in the same conversation in two different conversations. You have no idea what's going on. They're confusing the mind.
Because stuff has dual meanings. So I could say black, and black people think we talking about their skin, but we talking about absorption of light. So it's like we talking about your soul being robbed of its essence. That's saying we black. So we cursing ourselves by saying we black, but yet we have a black pride about ourselves because we melanites. But we got to understand that the English language is interchangeable. So that's like when we talk about the sea, that's the water. But we could also be talking about our sight. So that's where we got to start being clear. And like the word God, that's gold, oil, and drugs. So when people be like God, I be like, who is your God? We might be talking about different people.
Now that's deep right there. That was a deep little breakdown right there. Gold, oil, and drugs. I'll be damned. Go ahead.
But and then it's government ordinance decisions. You know, somebody else told me that, and I'm like, so they controlling your mind because government mean to control your mental.
I say the genetic origin distributor, meaning the Melanite woman who populated the plane.
So that's Adina.
Yes. Yes.
That's who we are. But you know, we getting rocked to sleep by Lucifer because we got to put Lucifer behind us by activating the pineal gland and operating out the Raz, Yehuda, part of our brain.
I want to read what you told me to look up so we can also speak about that. You told me to look up the 10 worlds of existence, the 10 planes of existence. And this is what came up. So if anybody else want to Google it, you can Google 10 planes of existence. The worlds are in ascending order of the degree of free will, compassion, and happiness one feels. The world: 1, hell; 2, hungry spirits; 3, animals; 4, auras; 5, human beings; 6, heavenly beings; 7, voice hearers; 8, cause awakened ones; 9, Buddhivas; and 10, Buddhas. And I know I'm not pronouncing 9 correctly, but Jasmine, you know how to pronounce it. I don't.
So those are the Vedas. That's the Hindu religion. And then even the animals, that's animal totem. That's the Kakusas, right? Yes. But like you call it Kakusa. Yes. And on my teachings, I'm saying animal totem. But you see how our people could argue with each other? Yeah. And me and you saying the same, or even how me and Malika had the conversation. I was saying I call Yehuda Selassie, and you call him Yehuda, but I was confused as if we talking to the same person. And when you did my reading and you was reading somebody else, you turned around, you said, I was in my mind like, so who am I speaking to? Am I speaking to Selassie, Yehuda? Who am I talking to? You turned around, you was like, he said, why you not teaching? And I'm on the thing like, because you ain't realize he had to say something to me to let me know, like, you ain't tripping. I'm in all of y'all. I'm y'all personality.
Yes. Okay, I want to read this. I went to the etymology. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. That's exactly what happened. Um, I went to ADNA by etymology, which is Eden, EDEN. The delightful place, figurative use of the place described in Genesis, referred to Hebrew Eden, pleasure, delight, perhaps from Ugaritic base, a place that is well watered throughout. Okay, also means delight and luxury.
That's heaven. So
Water.
check this out. I just got another download.
Come on.
We inside the body, Mother Earth, and she pregnant, and we in the womb.
That's exactly how I broke down Genesis.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
was my Bible teaching. When they say we're in the triple darkness and they're talking about that, we're talking about being inside of the womb of Adina. We are the full body, and you just have to know the placements because we are also in her mind. Her mind is the galaxy.
So governors.
Absolutely.
So governors, is it like we the new generation of like children?
We are the intra beings looped over again because we're looping ourselves because we don't know how to wake ourselves up to get out.
Okay, gotcha.
So when we are in our waking state, we already know what the wake is. We are in our deathbed. Oh shit! Let me click off.
Come back, friend. Come back.
They just blew my top.
Yeah.
You hear me? Like
intrabeings are different, like colors, right? Like the different lights.
So the other night when we were speaking to Yehuda, I kept saying deity, and the day before that or early that day, he had me say quote unquote deity, and I'm asking him why he said that, and he finally tell me, he said to put us in a phrase of deity or God is to make us less than what we are. We are intra beings, we're light beings, crystal beings, and anytime I see them in my mind, they're full of color. Like spectrum.
That's our chakras.
Yes. So when we're saying the rainbow people and our chakras, they are radiating from the inside out because we have now trapped this light, our soul being selves inside of this vessel, our deathbed.
So the only way, like you said, Mama Adina said, we could come out of here, but we only could come out of here if we come together.
That's like the rainbow, like the Care Bears, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta all, and everybody got a part. So we gotta quit that I'm the so and so. We all got a rainbow. Everybody and your rainbow.
I realized that we would do better if we would not try to one up each other. If we understood everybody has a part in a position.
Correct. Yeah. And we doing something powerful by coming together because we have a multitude of people with us. We are chiefs of tribes. So the chiefs got to realize they the chiefs to come together because that's the only way we're going to bring the people together.
I used to have a lot of visions when I was like in my early teens. I used to have multiple like different dream like states and stuff, like tribal like military like. It was just dreams from like past and previous lives, but I was trying to like figure out a lot of that stuff along the way. So the more you grow, the more you try to understand a lot of things about yourself, because yourself is like a doorway, and the library is built inside of you. So we have to tap into that library to understand what we did wrong. You know what I mean? So you got to understand, what we did wrong.
I think we also need to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Z.
I tend to like acknowledge my mistakes from the past and try to forgive whatever I done wrong, because I tried to move on. You know what I mean? Because that's one of our biggest egos about ourselves and about the information that we did. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. When we're looking at the physical body itself, and we always say, oh, you have chakras, you have more than 7 chakras or 9 chakras that people always give you. And chakras are portal openings. You have so many portal openings in your physical body. And you have to sometimes look at the ailments and where the ailments come in at and why it has the dis-ease in it, and how are they using the different things inside of this planetary space to cause that, which is, again, like I said, is calling the friction of energy in which they are using inside of us. But if you understood that, like, you have so many portal openings that they are sending different energy into, so it's almost like a cycle of energy, if you would, you know what I mean? Like, but because have been, oh my God, that's so deep, because we have been demonized, and we demonize ourselves, and everything about us we demonize, from our intra beings, our deities, to the cuckoos. Like, they've made you afraid of animals, but you see them loving, hugging, rolling around with lions, but you're terrified of them. Like, they have made us afraid of our own shadows. So because we are feeding this fear and this sort of energy, we are our devils. We are our God, and we are our own devils. We are killing ourselves. They are not doing it. We are doing it.
But also, Quasita, I feel like that also has a lot to do with feeding on what doesn't feed you. And when I say that, kind of like what you were talking about the other night when you were speaking on the connections, the relationship with family members, and letting go of what they've done because they've got their own journey and their own processing to do, figuring out with yourself. I think a lot of times those beings, those groups that have conditioned us away from ourselves, rather than saying, okay, well, if they condition us away from ourselves, let's work on getting back to ourselves, we say, fuck you for conditioning us away from ourselves. Now I'm gonna just focus on you and talk about your ass and keep doing exactly what it is that you set me up to do when you conditioned me.
And the fucked up part about it, Malika, is all they did was plant a seed.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they did. Like,
and they go to a tree.
Motherfucker used to do my daddy. They know if they say, Greg, that shirt is fucked up, my daddy, it could be a dope ass shirt, but all you had to do was say it one time to my daddy. My daddy gonna go change his shirt 7 fucking times, bro.
Right.
All they have to do is plant the seed, and they did that. And they're doing that every time you watch the fucking news and you see a Melanite being killed. Let's not forget.
Well, I don't watch the news.
Paid crisis actors.
But see, okay, for me, and this might be it. Well, we all love our different perspectives, right? So when I look at it, I feel like when you say all they did was plant a seed, I feel like if you know the power of your garden and the teachings that you give us and where that garden comes from and what it represents, you know that it's very easy to dig that piece of the soil and get rid of it, and then plant what you need to plant. See, the thing is that they plant the seed.
Yes, absolutely, Malika.
They plant the seed, but we continue to water it. And then we continue to take care of the plant until now the roots have dug in so deep. Have you ever seen the roots on a big tree go under a house?
Yeah, it will tear the house up.
It will tear the house to pieces, Ashe.
So, Malika, when I say this, this is exactly what I mean. When I say all they're doing is downloading viruses into your supercomputer, and I say you need to go through and delete these apps and re-download new apps.
That's how they just
the viruses.
Like how many cousins, and I want you to really be honest with yourself in the chat. If you were in that class where Quasita was talking about the simulation, and you'll see if you go to the Grand Rising page, I talk a lot about meditation and mindfulness, because the main reason, whether I practice those throughout my whole life, my daughter does it, aside from all of that, is one thing that Quasita said. Where'd Jazzy go?
The internet connection. It's a lot of storms that's going on.
Okay. The one thing that Quasita said that I always go back to is that meditation reprograms the programming.
Absolutely.
When she said it no matter how many times I meditated before that day, no matter how many times I practiced it, it had a different power now for me, because you don't have to look at meditation as the I mean, you could do that too. Nai prefers to meditate that way. She likes to meditate with sound, consistent sound.
When I clean up.
Right. Wherever you find peace and calm and you realize your mind has stopped going at 1,000,000 miles per hour and you're able to clear your mind to receive, like how you see Jazzy, how you see Quatita receive those downloads. When your mind is clear enough to do that, or you hear your ear begin to ring and you know that that's a sign that you need to do what you've been practicing in meditation and allow yourself to clear so you can receive whatever message is coming through. That's all ways, like you can do that through anything, singing, dancing, just laying down and being in gratitude of the things that you do have and what is for you. That is how you reprogram the programming. So all of those open portals, and Quatita is right, it's I believe like 100 and something, or it's a lot of chakras outside of the main ones that you always hear everyone talks about. If you have all of those open portals through your meditation, being aware that there are certain things that have access to you through those portals, you will recognize it, you will feel it, because you'll be so one with yourself that you'll know when a shift is coming. You'll know when something is trying to convince you out of yourself. It's amazing to me, and I give gratitude for that.
Friend. Ashe.
Because that's the thing with me. I hope that when people are listening to you, to Jazzy, to Z, to me, to us, on the different programs that you've put together for us where we speak, I hope that the cousins are realizing that we aren't just doing it to do it. There's stuff that all of us have to take care of right now. Quatita's got packages to pack, businesses to run, things to plan for future businesses. Same here, same with Jazzy, same with Z Energy. We're here because we are invested in making sure that everyone realizes that you are more powerful than anything that is attempting to come up against you. And effortlessly so. Yes, there's warrior energy and there's fighting and those things when you have to stand up and fight for what's yours. But on a daily basis, you can effortlessly just be within yourself. That's where just be comes from. And fight so many of these things, but you have to stop being distracted by the things that have been trying to continue to hold you back. You have to separate yourself from it and say, ha, you had a good little run there, but fuck that. Today, I take me back. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my power. I reclaim my energy. Anything that has been attempting to connect, attach, leech, siphon off of the grandness that I am, it no longer serves a purpose in my life and is removed immediately. Return to sender and send sender to the abyss. That's all I had to say. I'm going to go on mute now.
I want to say this real quick. Y'all know how they always say, you can't believe your eyes. They're telling you that because they're plainly switching things up in front of your face. No matter what it is you thought you saw, most likely you did not see it. There is a part in Behold a Pale Horse where William Cooper talks about seeing them talking about there are 3 rows inside of this car. The shot that killed JFK allegedly came from inside of the car.
Yep.
Thanks.
People seen it, but people doubted it because they told you, no, it came from the grassy knoll. But because they told you that that's where it came from, you didn't even trust your own self. You should think about that. Go ahead, Jazzy.
Can I say something with that? So Bush, not the one who was the president in 91, the daddy. His Barbara Bush daddy name was Prescott Bush. Prescott Bush was the head of the Nazis.
Yeah, Prescott Bush, he played both roles. He was double funding from he funded the motherfucking Holocaust as well as America. Now let me fuck your Jazz before you get into it.
Chase Banks and the banking system.
Barbara Bush, real biological father, right? Prescott Bush is George H. Bush father, right?
Right.
Barbara Bush, real father, is Aleister Crowley.
And that's who Jay-Z is.
Come on. And David Rockefeller. How many times has he wrapped himself back around? Let's go. Come on.
Right. Because they the vampires. But
allegedly, let me put my shit up.
Allegedly. But anywho, with the Bushes, that's why the daddy got up out of here. They allegedly took the red or the blue pill because they knew that they was gonna have to go to the Galactic Confederation because of the laws of the universe, right? Like what you said. So they knew the 400-year curse was up in 2019 because it started in 1492. Well, it started in the 1400s because remember 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Because Columbus ship landed and it had teeth and it had wings and it landed in Atlantis. So he landed in what is called Hades. Hades is Espanol. And I went to Hades. And when I went to Hades, I activated. That's how I knew about my past lives. I just started knowing all type of stuff. Like, what? Okay. So I was like the war bookman, and we fought the war with nature. So like the animals fought with us, but the animals can't fight with us because we don't know we know.
All the time, Papa does. He said, Yehuda, you remember when we fought together? Absolutely. He said the whole of the world was a battlefield. Absolutely. But we don't understand that because I can't fully understand it. But go ahead.
And they break it down in Maleficent. Y'all got to watch Maleficent 1 and 2. And in Maleficent 1 and 2, they show you everybody was fairies. Maleficent was a fae fairy. And by her being a fae fairy, she had horns. So when you learn about Isis, Isis had horns. They call her the celestial cow. Isis is Mama Adina, right? So Isis, by her being a cow, her and her sister, because it's 5 of them. But her sister, that we go back to Eve and Nephthys, or we could call them Eve and Isis, or even Lilith. That's what I wanted to say, Eve and Lilith. So that's left brain, right brain, right? And the left brain, right brain is the 2 women in the garden, and you got to figure out what you operating out of, the left brain or the right brain. The atom is the charge. The atom is the ability to process it, right? It can't do nothing without the atom, right? That's
and Eve is the original gene, yes.
So it's like, where am I going with the Adam and Eve and the Maleficent? Maleficent, she was a good fairy, and then she fell in love with humans, and they did her dirty, so she became dark. That's what we call the demonic. And when she became dark, the forest got dark. The stuff started happening in the forest, and she had cursed the king's daughter, and the king's daughter ended up being Sleeping Beauty. So that's our consciousness. They put us to sleep because it was a curse for so many years that they put us under this curse. And she was our godmother, and she messed around and fell in love with us. And so she tried to break the curse. And the only way she broke the curse because her love for us. Like, she loved us so much that the love broke the curse. And then on Maleficent 2, it'll show you when the evil queen there go the queen again, still in our position. And when the evil queen was trying to steal our position, she everything outside turned into like what it is now, because everything was living. It could walk. It could, like the trees could walk. They could talk. And when they did this shift in the earth, everything just stood still. So that's kind of where we at right now, where everything's standing still because we coming out the curse. So we got to get our mind ready, because when we start seeing these trees get up and walk, and when we start seeing this 4D dimension, some of us ain't gonna be able to handle it.
Facts. Mm-hmm. Hey, governors, what is your initial intake on as far as what the man is responsible on Earth? Because I have a certain principle that what I was saying.
That's a good question.
When you say the man, do you mean the Melanite staff?
Man, right, as in the man of the house, or the man right, as a protector.
Okay. Yeah, the Melanite staff. I believe that they were created like out of protection. Um, I hate to say it. Ooh, I probably gonna get crucified in a sense, but they were. I don't want to say our slaves, um, but for a
I
lack
just
of a better word, you know,
I
for
can help you. I can help you say it
our
without saying
our
it.
let me
helpmates.
say
So
There we go.
let me
the
say one thing for the
female,
add the input. I just want to say
the
one thing for the add
female
the
is
input.
the iron. The female is the iron. In the Bible, we say we gonna rule with an iron fist. That's the female. So both of our brains is female, right? So the masculine principle, the
Oh shit. Oh wow.
gonna get me out of there. Okay, so we created the masculine to create balance, and the man is the zinc. So we created zinc so we to protect the iron from corrosion. So that's exactly what the male is. We created the male to give us angles. Me and Naga Netter did a live like this week about that. He was saying the female is the snake and she has curves, and the male is the angles. And when you put the angle and the curves together, it becomes a key and you can unlock anything. So that's what the men are for us.
I
It's almost
believe
like
that.
yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely say that. I'm gonna say they are our helpers, our helpmate. And I don't like to say that they are made for protection because we can protect ourselves. You understand me? Like you can go into your source power and like can't be fucked with. I go wherever I want to go. I don't carry a man with me. You understand me?
And the man is a woman because his ovaries sit outside his body, and
Yeah.
Yep.
his
Everything
clit
is feminine first.
grew. So that's why it's a penis now. See,
Yeah.
he's one of us. We created him, so
Yeah,
I'd
the
like to
that's
woman.
why it's
respond to
called
this, but I
mating.
know Z Energy wanted to say something also. No, go ahead, Z Energy, and then I'll
I
go.
was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say the woman is like the most powerful vessel in the universe because she is like the first creation of source. Not only that, she's supposed to rule, like you said, with an iron fist, matriarch,
Yeah.
the state of Earth. That's why the balance is so chaotic right now, off balance and stuff because there's not a woman that's actually in rulership right now.
Let me say this.
Uh,
There's I put in the book, I was writing a book, and this was my statement. If you look at the teachings of Juicy J, you'll understand his teachings is to destroy the mind of the black woman. So I put in my book, if you go by those teachings, you will destroy the mind of the black woman. If you destroy the mind of the melanite woman, you have divided her home. If you can divide her home, you have divided her inside of herself, and you have caused chaos, and you have now pretty much won the war. And that is what they're trying to do. They want the black woman, the melanite portal, to be destroyed because she brings forth life from anywhere. Like we ain't just populating this plane of existence just out of man, we are bringing forth, let me just say this, we're bringing forth rhinos and hippos and giraffes and lions. You understand me? We're not just bringing forth little pale babies that could only repopulate and replenish after itself.
creation.
Creation. Go ahead, Malika.
Yes.
So, Z Energy, to answer the question, because I love that you posed that question. For me specifically, I feel like the role of the divine melanin masculine, because I've never had any experience outside of that. The role of the divine melanin masculine is to create balance.
I knew you was about to say that. I knew you was about to say it. I heard it before you said it.
I feel like if we are in knowing of our power and not worried about his power, except for how he shows up to us with that power. But if we
Mhm.
are in knowing of ours and you are in knowing of yours, together, when we come together, there is a unlocking of energies, doors, knowings that occur when that happens. I
Mhm.
I feel, have you ever seen those movies where like it'll be, they'll need like a token to open and unlock a door to this realm they've been trying to get to, but it's broken in half. And one is buried over under the in the sea, the other is buried in some pirate trap over to the whole other side of existence. That is the divine masculine and feminine, the melanite masculine and feminine in my eyes. Once those two pieces come together, lock and key, Ashe.
Netflix.
Once those
Yep.
two pieces come together, the possibilities are limitless to me. And so I feel like both jobs actually, but specifically based on your question, I feel like the role of the man is to absorb the innate compassion of his divine feminine in order to create balance on his end, and vice versa, us to pick up those parts of you that are protector and the masculine experience
Well, I
that
want to
we
say something when you get finished.
okay,
Uh,
the masculine experience that we have had to do some of the same actions to protect and defend ourselves, but never received it and absorbed it from the walk of being a masculine. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, that's what I feel like. The role of the divine masculine is to be of himself within the union and allow himself, as she should as well, to absorb the powers of each so that you can become a transformer of sorts, and then nobody can fuck with you. So
Okay,
yeah.
so let me say this: all masculine were female before they became masculine, right? But I think there's another part to that. And so I love, because I knew you was gonna say balance. I knew it. The other part to that is that's also because we are them, they are us, and it is our, like, it will the cycle of life and becoming,
Counterpart.
coming, come on, coming back as masculine, because they are also needing, you said this before, Malika, to learn something, and we're needing to learn something. So even the wraparound and coming back around again. See, I always say they want to control the divine feminine's mind because of everything that we've already discussed. However, they do not want to get rid of her, because if they get rid of her, which is us, everything in the world will stop. It will cease to exist. It will no longer. You can do away with every genome. You can do away with men, but scientific facts prove that women populated the plane upon this existence by themselves before there were ever a masculine here, which is why they choose inside of coming. Okay, there was, we had the like I said, the glands that shot the semen up into the vagina, and this is studies from Jacques Loeb. You can look this up. We populated by ourselves. Okay, asexual, if you will. And so through whatever time space of existence, things have changed, right? So if you got rid of all genomes, if you got rid of the men, they've already told you, based on your sheer will of existence, you would never get rid of a melanite woman, because we make the world go round. We would still populate. We are the cycle of existence. We are the loop. We are the genetic origin distributors. We cannot be destroyed because we are the energy.
That's why they try to destroy the mother and the father from the household to keep the love unattached from each other, so we won't grow as a unit, grow as one.
Absolutely.
You know what's so interesting about that, Quartita? I feel like at the end of the day, when you said something when you first began speaking a moment ago, and it's so evident that they would attack the melanated mother because she raises the sons. She
Yes.
raises the masculine. So
Yes.
if you attack the source of the household, if you attack the matriarch of the household, like we see how things happen differently now, that there is no grandma that everybody got to answer to. The grandma that don't fuck off and don't play around when it comes to
Yes.
how you gonna act, and you gonna get it together, and whatever you doing in the streets, you better show up on Sunday for dinner, and she gonna be checking on you, and she gonna be getting in it, that whole situation. If that is removed, what happens to the family dynamic? Then there is none. And in no family dynamic, you have the separation of the man from her, as well as the children breaking apart and doing their own thing also. And then on top of that, throwing in these conditioned spaces and tactics, these tactics against us, like the welfare tactic. I'm sure most of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like the dropping the weapons off in the neighborhoods on the train tracks tactics, like bringing drugs into certain communities, like raising the murder rates in certain communities so that real estate can come in and things can be gentrified. All of these different tactics are based on and feed on the ability for, or not the ability, but the hope that the Black woman, the Melanite woman, will continue to stay separated or broken. And the only way to do that is to keep us broken. However, again, and my friend proves this every day, not only on here, but when she speaks to us individually in conversation, it is proven that we have the power to reverse all of that. And we have the power to remind ourselves of who we are as long as we do not get distracted. So gratitude for saying that, Governess, because that hit home for me. Now, I did have a question. I have a
question for you too.
Oh, can I ask my question first?
Okay, my question goes into what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Mine was what you said. Okay, go ahead. You ask us first.
So, does Big Mama run the house, or does Grandpa run the house?
Big Mama.
I think honestly, when
Big Mama.
We understand the balance, but
no, yeah,
Big Mama run the house. Big Mama cook the food. Big Mama say who go to sleep. Big Mama say who gonna be happy. Big Mama control the house. Y'all know as women, if my man
nobody picked up on, and I'm gonna tell you why. This is why I asked the question.
Don't allow everybody to come in the house.
This is why I asked that question, because it just hit me. Women, because Adina, alpha of the DNA, women are alpha, men are the beta. That's probably gonna ruffle some feathers. I'm sorry. I want you to ask your question now, Malika.
Facts.
Oh, sorry. I was supposed to give an answer, right? Sorry.
No. I was just saying that because that's what hit me. So I wanted to, because what you said made so much sense that it registered and it was a quick download real quick. So that's why I wanted to ask you that question, because everything you said registered. It made so much sense. You're absolutely correct. That is what's wrong with our houses right now. There's no Big Mama.
See, I think the reason why I paused and I didn't even say anything when everyone had jumped in and said Big Mama is because for me it's circumstantial. And I say that because when you come into this house, don't nobody rule it but Mama. If you are invited in, if you are welcome in this house, right? But when you come into this house and you are a stranger, you best believe Daddy gonna slice your neck from you hit the door.
And do you know what it is? Because he's protecting Mama.
And babies.
Babies is Mama. Mama is the baby.
That's the Masonic kingdom. So they say.
I think that's the problem, because we can't put the divine feminine back in her rightful place, because we need to pull the man with us. The man comes automatically because he came from us. And I think that is something what the issue is. We have to understand. Oh my goodness. Hi, Stevie. We have to understand that. Like,
you gonna do it like that
for a reason.
That's why I'm silent.
To disrespect anyone else, you know what I mean? But when he comes in and he's gonna slice neck, because he's protecting Mama. Mama is the baby.
Oh, the baby. He just melted my heart with the baby. Oh, I got all bushy and stuff.
Yeah, that's my baby Gaia.
So Mason, we in Masonic Kingdom. That's Isis and Heru. So Isis is Mama Adina, the DNA, and she is the blueprint because she procreated Heru by herself. Her husband Osiris was killed, so she could not consummate her marriage. So that's where she built the first mummy, and she mummified him, and she built him a phallus made of gold. That's why in Egypt you got the phalluses everywhere, because Set threw his original piece in the water and it got eaten. And so that's the Masonic kingdom, because Heru came back to avenge his father's death. So that's the reincarnation. So that is the mother son kingdom. That's why it's called Mason. So I explained that we are the original Masons and we are the keepers of the gate as the women. And as the women being the keepers of the gate, we determine who comes through the portal into the spiritual realm, right? And when we determine who comes forth, they made out of our material, which is our skin, right? Even though they had a father's thought identity. And that is the Willie Lynch letter when he said, how we gonna get them? He said, we got to separate the woman from the man, because they knew the man was the woman's protector, because that's his mama.
Absolutely.
It's his wife, but it's his mama.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? And not incest.
That creates the balance. I don't want to be on earth without men.
Me neither.
You know what I mean?
But men are from Mars, they the warriors, and women are from Venus, they the lovers. Love and war. We are counterparts. But that's the Masonic kingdom.
Malika, what was the question, Mama?
I was gonna ask it, but then I was listening to what Jazzy was saying, and give me a sec, because I'm still processing the last thing that you had said before. I'm sitting with it and digest. You know how I do. I'm digesting it and trying to process it, because when I think of it, I always look at the dynamic of Ro and I, right, or of my dad and my mom, and whether even if I'm not in the house, they would still react the same way if it was just Ro and Elijah. So in protection of what they have created and we have created. So when I hear it, I'm thinking about it like, am I taking away power from myself in seeing it that way? Or
why would you?
No. In seeing it the way that I see it, as I feel like you can't have one without the other.
Right.
Like when it comes to masculine and feminine, I feel like you can't have one without the other. There's so many missing parts when you don't have the dynamic of your match and been able to love so deeply that you match their walk. Like you become their walk. And so it resonates differently for me. So I was just analyzing that and how looking at it in a different way could also bring more power to me. But I feel like my role as Ro Malice's equivalent, almost his alternate, is to let him know that with or without me.
Do you believe to say that the chicken comes before the egg? So do you believe by saying that you're like like disrespecting him or like taking away his power or throwing it out of balance?
No, I'd more look at it like, don't say it about me, I'm not going to say it about you. Because if ever I heard Rose say that I was less than if he wasn't present, my mama got a bed in her house.
It's less than. I think it's natural, and that's honestly what it is. He was a woman before he ever became a man.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that we're all, but I guess it goes back to that.
It doesn't take his power away because you need him. He creates your balance. But to not put on but not to sit to where you should sit is different.
Is this the Lucifer energy?
In my view, anyway, because I think y'all are a great balance, a perfect balance. You know what I mean? But I also understand that when men are single, men live a lot of times they live a different life.
Absolutely.
Than when they become enthralled with the woman in their space. You know what I'm saying? They do things that they would not do. You turned his house into a home.
Facts.
It is your power. Not to say he's less than.
So we didn't do that together?
Can I please say something?
Help.
So the woman is the moon. The woman was here first. And the woman created the sun, which is the soul, which is the man. And the woman get her light from the man. We created him because we knew we was crazy. Like it was already two women here. We was arguing, we was beefing, we couldn't get along. So we put the little man in the middle and we was cool. You feel me? Like it was like the man balanced us out because the sun reflects its light onto the moon. That's why we see the moon move in the 28 degrees around the sun. The sun moved 30 degrees in 30 days, and the moon moved around the sun. The sun is the masculine energy. Let me show y'all something I teach. I teach that when the sun rises, that's the man. It go from the east to the west. That's the erection, right? Do y'all men rise? Okay, they the sun, right? Okay, and the woman, she be all over the place for 28 days. Because sometimes we be full, sometimes we be new, sometimes we be grinding, sometimes we be waxing. We don't be knowing what be going on. That's why we got the man, because the man be like, bruh, focus. You gonna go around me, and you know, they gotta tell us what to do. And that's the 360, the 9. That's why we created him, because we was chaos. The woman is chaos. We're negative. I just drew a picture of this us. So we the woman. Wait a minute. Y'all, my angles is off here. But we the woman, we the yin and the yang. So we is negative, we is night, they is day, they are positive, they on the surface, we deep. You know what I'm saying? We be, think about when we in the car. The man not gonna tell you he lost. He gonna just drive around, and it be the woman that be like, bro, we done passed this store 6 times. We calculate everything. You gotta think. Let them cheat. We'd be like, it took you 5 minutes to drive down the street, and you turned at the store. That was 3 minutes, and then you know how we is, ladies.
Going to detail.
We're the Maxons. We the mathematicians. We the original teacher. We the first. And so we calculate everything, but the man, he are intelligence. You get what I'm saying? Even though we got the ability to think and be deep and do all this, we can't function without him. And so I want to say this right quick. Emperor Haile Selassie, when he had his coronation, he had Empress Menen crowned first because he understood that they took the feminine energy out when they wiped out Isis, right? So he put the feminine energy back on the throne. He had her crowned as empress first, and then she the one who crowned him emperor because he wouldn't even let nobody touch his head unless it was her.
Mm-hmm. That's like the story of what they call Adam and Eve, the one that's actually drawn in Egypt on the pyramid walls, where it's the divine feminine's job to take this fruit from the tree of knowing and knowledge and provide it to the man when he's stepping into his ultimate power. She pretty much crowns him in that. This is a really
That's
good
Isis
conversation.
and Heru. That's Isis and Heru. Their name is Isis.
This way. Mother Dina is the source of all the power, right? So Mother Dina is the source, and she's the soul. And in order for your supercomputer to be working and generated, you need the power stem, which is the spirit that plugs into the phone, which is your supercomputer, because your computer is given the broadband of the intranet of all connections. Without the mother, nothing exists.
So that's basically the service provider, the cell phone provider.
Like the intranet, she is all information. She is all knowing, but it takes Yehuda to come to me and line it down and give it to me.
Okay, got you. That resonates.
And I understand the same thing, but I go through a different portal. So Isis, which is Israel, like the word Israel, the IS in Israel is Isis. That's my DNA. Yes. The Ra in the middle of that is Ra, the soul. That's the book of the dead. And then El is Elohim. So that's the angelical being of it. So I study the Egyptian part of it. So I understand Egypt is your lower self and Ethiopia is your higher self. And that's what the rosters say. You got to become an Ethiopian.
Like when Yehuda spoke to me, that's why we say Adina first and Yehuda only. Because we were all saying Yehuda, he came to me, he said, absolutely not. When I would say the spirit and soul, he would make me correct me and say the soul and the spirit. He would always make sure that I put her first.
Okay.
That didn't come from me. That came from him. He says, in order for things to be put correctly, I must honor her first.
So that's the Mason kingdom, because mine come before the sun.
Yes. So I have to honor Adina first. I give the soul and the spirit. You know what I mean? So I have to do it that way. I say Adina first and Yehuda only. And I say Yehuda only because I know he's the only sim. He's my connection to the source.
Right, because the phone don't work without the SIM card.
Correct.
Acknowledge the woman's presence.
You know? So it's not for me to I'm not diminishing the man. I'm putting it in its rightful place.
Correct.
In order for things to come back into alignment.
They are light.
Your house is your house, but it doesn't run well if Roll Malice isn't in it. He's the connector.
I don't run well if Roll Malice. Well, not ain't in it. I don't want to say that, but if Roll Malice ain't a part of it.
Okay, because period and on both. Okay. So absolutely, we have to put it back in alignment in order for us to come back into alignment. We have to understand this
day and night.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's we can't separate day from night. That's the woman and the man.
That's what I was trying to connect it to, because I know that I'm a supreme being, like Ashe. Ain't no question about that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also see that there can't be one without the other. And the reason that I know of my worth and that I am a supreme being is, yes, the work that I do with myself. However, that wouldn't be amplified in the way that it is if the divine masculine didn't.
It can be, Malika, but would it run smoothly for you? See, the world, that's what I'm saying. The world would exist with only Black women.
Mm-hmm.
But would we want that?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
That's why we left Venus.
That's the truth of the matter. That is the truth of it. You understand what I'm saying?
I remember my question. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, when you were talking about how, in the beginning there were only women. What do you think happened that changed that to where it was split into feminine and masculine?
I believe it began to feel out of balance. And I feel like it was just, I don't want to say the corrector, but the corrector in some way.
Got it. Okay. Gratitude. That was good. I like those conversations.
I do too. And I know that after this, I'm gonna get because I'm gonna go into conversation with Yehuda and grandmother Adina, because I want to understand even deeper. I want to understand even more. Jazzy and I were supposed to do something on her platform. Some sort of interview on her platform, and then I'm supposed to speak with Z Energy and one of his connectors on his platform tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Name Zero. Hakatos.
Yes. Demonologist tomorrow evening. So we're supposed to connect in that way. Z Energy, myself, and I cannot pronounce his name again. The demonologist, and that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Zero Hakatos. Yeah.
Zero Katos. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's going to be interesting.
Oh, and that's crazy.
Go ahead, Z.
Okay, something just came to me for a reason. I don't know why, but I feel like the women, the reason why we in this predicament right now, because the woman love for a man. I believe something down the line there was some kind of agreement or some kind of extinction, but I think the women kind of like took the women that left Venus was the one was protecting these men. because we had to get our ego together and love ourselves. Because if we didn't do this, we would have got deleted. So I believe it's because of the women. Because of the women, kind of like, you know, like yourself, y'all pretty much was standing up for us, and we was not supposed to be created. So that came to me. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
That's deep. I was gonna say too, Z Energy, but he watches Naga Netter. Me and Naga Netter did a live on my platform last week, and we broke down divine energy and masculine energy and everything that we basically speaking on. We were speaking on this last week about what happened in our house. You know, he said when they enslaved our minds and we came out, nobody didn't have time to heal. Nobody didn't have time to figure out how to be a father or figure out how to be a mama or figure out how to put the family. You know, it was so much going on, the attack on our spirit and our soul, that because it was a spiritual warfare. It was so much the war was in us. You feel me? And it was so much, like they say, it was a war in heaven, and 3/4 of the sky fell. That was us, and we fell from that frequency. The 3/4 is 7. We lost touch with Mama Adina and Yehuda. And that's basically what all of this is about, to get back to that 7, because once you activate that 7 unlocks. That's the key to unlock the other things. Because, you know, like you said, if you could get your chakras alignment with the 720, you could unlock the 720 that's in your pineal gland. You got 720 y'all, I know some stuff. Like I be telling y'all, I be like, I tell you, I get it from spirit though. You know, I'm a book whisperer. People don't know I got that gift, but I be at the store talking to books. And I be like, no, I'm not about to come get you. Stop talking to me. And next thing you know, I'll be over there in the book like, I gotta buy this. Look, I got a book right here.
Because it carry words. Words carry energy. And
everything y'all was saying, it's the Lost Worlds. And this book is, matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all my baby right quick. And then I'm going to have to go get on. We going to end because I know we all been on here all day. We've been going. I want to show y'all my gem. This is my baby right here. So this is the Iroquois Bible by the Indians. And this book come from 1800s. So when I be breaking down knowledge, people don't realize I got a library, because people be like, well, I don't believe in that. See, the word belief means lie.
Yeah.
I don't be lying nothing. I know stuff.
Believe it.
Yeah, so y'all got to come out the beliefs, because they had us believing in Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and all of that stuff. We have to know. Like, we know that's our mama. They say mama's baby, daddy's maybe. We won't be knowing if that's even our real daddy. We got to start tapping in, because even I used to study this one dude. He was saying, you don't even know if your mama and daddy really your mama and daddy, because that's hearsay. They told you that. And you just assumed it because that's what you was told. Yeah. So he said at one point you gonna quit eating anything anybody feed you. And my daddy, I talk to my daddy in the spiritual realm all the time. My daddy be like, my daddy raw, y'all. He be like, quit letting a motherfucker feed you or you gonna starve. And I be like, what? You can't let nobody feed you or you will starve. So that's why I teach my soul tribe, go get the fish. Because if I die tomorrow, y'all ain't gonna know how to fish.
Yeah, that's what I say. Don't believe what I say. I don't care if you ever believe what I say. I just wanted to wake you up enough, rise you up enough for you to go and do your own research.
You the activator though. So that's why you got that gift to talk to the spirit, and everybody is mesmerized. Like, what are you doing? And then I'm over here on some scientific stuff. Quatita, you did my reading and you told me I was a female young pharaoh.
Yeah. You
told me that. But you're not the first person that told me that. I've been getting told that for years, but they ain't know the name Young Pharaoh. But people been telling me this for years. Like, I grew up in the church. My family is ministers. I was sitting behind the scenes watching what was going on. Like, for a reason.
Me too.
Yeah, like
same way. I came from a church line. My granddaddy was the pastor. It never dawned on me until like when I was like, getting up in age. And when I got up in age, I just felt like I feel like a misfit, or I felt out of place. A lot of people go to shouting in the church, and I'll be like, what for? I'm like, I ain't feel nothing, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, you like get up for Jesus. I'm like, well, you want me to put on a fake face, or you want me to? It wasn't resonating with me, and then as the years going by, I'm starting to see everybody praying, but still not getting no kind of no answer whatsoever. And then I started looking at my childhood, and I started seeing guys looking out in the meditation community, like guys started meditating and stuff like that. And I wonder what's the biggest concern about meditation, until somebody broke it down to me. What was the meditation was for? And I started to learn throughout the year what it was. You know what I mean? Channeling energy from the universe, channeling energy from the cosmic. And so when it hits your body, it kind of like tune you into the frequency. You know what I mean? So you get these uploads and downloads and stuff like that. And that's where the energy comes from, the universe. And I'm still learning, you know what I mean? Because everybody's still learning,
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody in the chat says a lot of actors. And I was in that moment, I was thinking that, because if the church never registered to any of us, that means everybody else is lying. I hate to say that, you know what I mean? I can't speak for nobody else, but I just feel like that because you don't register to you either, because it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Real one.
You're pretending that it does because you felt like you were supposed to, like it's supposed to make sense. Then you can say that shit and register however you want. And I could be off. I can't speak for everyone, but I'm just saying. Now, I want to say this because I'm so sorry we getting off of here, but because I want to do 30 minutes more Z energy, because I want to get into demonology with you before we get off of here. I want you to talk about it. You come up several times and we've never really got into it. You kind of sit quiet, but I know you know so much. That's why I'll be asking you to come up, because I want you to talk about your understanding of demons, demonology, the underworld. I want to know what you know about it. While I make me a sandwich, go ahead. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Okay, being the fact that the demonologists was so like tuned out of society, they made us hate it. They made us dislike it. They put a lot of bugs in our face to make us think we was, that's not it. But they was the ones still using this energy and recycling this energy over and over again, casting spells and doing all kind of stuff against us, and all against our will as purpose. So we we don't know. We was just like brought up in church, and it's the devil, you know what I'm saying? It's the devil in you, and shame the devil, you sinning and all that. But you got to understand, these are different programs, like you were saying, these apps that was downloaded into us in the cervical way. You know what I mean? So we downloaded into our cosmic computer, which is the quantum computer, the human body, and we receive all this damage, collateral damage throughout decades of abuse, going through all these this demonic stuff that we see on TV. So when we see these horror movies, the horror movies kind of put us on the edge and make us don't want to tap into it. You know what I'm saying? We become scared. Just like we see like Freddy Krueger, Jason, and all these movies lined up after each other. And I wonder why the horror business is so big of scaring people, scaring children. You know what I'm saying? And being that in my teens, we used to have nightmares about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of educate yourself, education yourself with the books and understanding where to go at that point, because at a time you got to understand this is alchemy at its finest. You know what I mean? This is magic. This is the universe, how it was created. Nothing was created in no human form. Just like Source created many things in the universe. You know, when you see a man walking around like a unicorn, you think it's demonic. Then he sit beside you, have a drink, and say, "No, I'm not like that." That's the whole purpose of trying to understanding the demonology work, because everybody who I talk to in the occult community say the same thing. They sit and have dinner with you, have a regular human conversation with you, and that's my main purpose is to educate the youth and educate people like myself to understand and don't be afraid, and help you understand yourself a little bit more better. So that's why I created Tribal Country 44, which is the YouTube channel.
Okay, got it. So what is a demon?
Daemon, it's really broke down so many ways. The demon actually came after Daemon.
Yes.
Okay, because the Daemon was there first. Okay, and a demon is just another form that we get in our mind that we see as imagery. The imagery from Daemon, is a physical form that we see that presents itself in front of you. It's a name, but it's a different lower class of angelic name, really.
This lady named Crystal on Facebook broke it down. She says that our government is the reptilians and the demons, the Democrats and the Republicans, the reptiles and the demons. What is your thought on that?
It could be as misleading sometimes, but there's a lot of politicians on both sides that's actually demonic as hell. It goes both ways, but people got to see the clear picture that we the people is the one supposed to be running the show. We don't need nobody running nothing for us. That's another form of classification to get you under contracts, and the contracts is another way of alchemists.
I understand. I agree. So you said demon came from Daemon, but I feel like you're walking around what I'm asking you. What is it?
The Daemon?
Yes.
The Daemon is another form of energy that was created to the governor to help understand a certain power that exists within inside of you. You can hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening. Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was stating that it's another source of power that governor that we can use. It was it's teaching mechanism.
It's your lower self.
Mm-hmm.
So your lower self is Set, and your higher self is Osiris. That's what I was explaining. I studied the Kemetic part of it. So Osiris is your risen self, your savior, right? Heru is his son. That's another aspect of yourself, because you got to remember, if you the universe, all things exist within you. So the devil in you, God in you, the demons in you, and your soul. So your soul is the Lord of the Rings, and your soul can control the demonic demons. That's who King Solomon used to build the holy city of Jerusalem. He made the demons build it, so he made his lower self build it.
Correct.
So why do y'all feel like they try to give you that? Right? Because you brought to us the 72, was it demons or something like that? It is Z?
It's Goetians.
Goetians.
Yes, there was like the firstborn of creation of energies that don't have no gender. They don't have no gender. Meaning they was like they can be teachers of the lower self. They can be teachers in the physical as well.
So why do y'all feel like they have tried to use this energy? Like, why choose that? You know what I'm saying? Like, What do you think it's about? And Malika,
because it was our energy.
7 and 2 is 9. 9 is the ethers. So that's why they using your lower self, because they know mathematics, and they using your lower self to control your higher self, because as above is so below. So if I can master your lower self, I can master your higher self.
Exactly. And not only that, they're using this energy over and over and over again just to stay in their own this parallel world they living in. They need this energy. They need this energy to feed off so they can keep themselves above boat, to maintain this realm that we call Earth. They're using our energies, which is our power.
So honestly, Quatita, I know you were saying to give my thoughts when I'm listening, because as I'm learning each perception and each, like, the different way it resonates for everyone. I feel like it goes back to the relationships. I feel like you can't have one without the other. And I feel like you are, in a sense, doing a disservice with not studying the polarity in all of these different energies, because you yourself are in some way, shape, or form a reflection of that in regards to having polarity, duality. And so I think, like I've always said, I had the most chaos in my life when I only considered myself a light being, like as far as the love and light. So I would go into spaces and I would always get taken advantage of because it was love and light all the time. Oh, I like nothing can go wrong. It's da, da, da. And when that's fine. And I'm still that way. But when there's an issue, you can't use that weapon of love and light. You have to know how to tap into your shadows and swords. And I feel that that's the perfect example of these beings or these energies that they consider. First of all, who labeled them? I mean, like, who is the individual? When I think about it in my mind, I'm like, who is the person that said, oh, this is a demon? So I don't even really fall into the terminology of it.
That's actually the question. That's the question. Why are they doing it? Where does it come from?
So right. King James, when he wrote the Bible in 1611, a part of the Bible, because a lot of knowledge left out the Bible, and he wrote the book of demonology. So a lot of people be like, he translated the Bible. He had William Shakespeare, which is known for plagiarism. He had him. He had a bunch of different scholars sit around. Remember, we was talking about they created the Bible because they wanted to get rid of the witches of Salem, who knew the truth, who was the guardians of the galaxy. So when they crucified them and chopped their heads off, there was physical representation of chopping us out from the mind. Because when the Ankh is no longer an Ankh, it's a cross. So that's two penises. So when two penises come together, there's no life that comes out of them two penises. You feel me? But when you put the woman back on there and restore it back to natural order, that's life. Mm-hmm. Because the Ankh represents man, woman, and child. That's the Holy Trinity.
Yes.
So now, and gratitude, when I say who did that, I'm being funny in the sense of, who the fuck is he? I don't know him. I've never met him. I've never shook his hand. I don't even know if they telling the truth that it was him that wrote it, or if they took the real person, locked him up, cut his head off, put him in one of their contraptions they used to create to torture people, and then wrote some things in the book and said, we're going to say it's him because people will believe it if it's co-signed by him, because that's what they do with celebrities now, right? That's what they
basically do. What happened.
Right. There you go.
I want to cue on Jazzy question, because when Thoth was here, the teacher of mathematics, of the language, the universal language, the cosmic language, alchemy, magic, you name it. He's the creator. He was the one that was here in the days of the Atlantean, who wrote all the books, Emerald Tablet, you name it. These was lined up for us to learn. But when he left, this when the big a lot of these so-called elites or dangerous peoples was pushing to get this information, and when they tried to hide it, And this is the information that came from Thoth. All these teachings and the alchemists and stuff like that came from Thoth. He's one of the ones that was here, the firstborn of the earth.
I gotta get out these portals. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep y'all don't understand. They keep talking to me. This is how they talk to me, right? Okay, here go the 7 demon lords, right? This the 7 chakras, but this is the duality, right? 2, right? We already know the chakras, like what Malika was saying, like I am, I feel, I do, I love, I speak, I am, right? The other aspect of it, the 7 demonic spirits, is the energies within you. So at the bottom, I am. So if you not I am, then you're sloth, right? That mean to be slow, that mean to be lazy, that you ain't on your stuff, you know what I'm saying? So then when we move up to the 2nd chakra, which would be your emotions, that's worth. So if you operating out your Satan, they got the names Belphegor is sloth, Satan is the worth, Beelzebub is the gluttony, Leviathan is the envy. I don't know how to say their names. I'm messing their names up. This is the 7 demon lords, if y'all want to look it up. Lucifer is the pride that's at the top. So that's why the battle between Lucifer and the Christ consciousness is up here, because it's in our mind. But the battle for the greed is within our what we say. And then the lust is in our heart, and the envy is in our soul, and the gluttony. Y'all get what I'm saying?
I do. The word Leviathan, that's the
yeah, I got you.
I got exactly what you were saying. Had talked about before of Leviathan night. I want to say this before we go further. I think it's difficult when people cannot take themselves out of it. When we are looking at things on a physical level instead of in the soul or spirit level, you become confused. This is what attracted me to young Pharaoh, because he was on the street with some of the Hotep guys. It was on Sanetta's channel, and they were arguing about Kemet in Egypt and this and that. And what attracted me to him was he said, "You're still talking about Egypt. I'm talking about before that. What happened before that?" If you are stuck in your physical, you are missing it.
Yeah.
You're missing the point. You're missing it. If you're looking at the physical, you're missing it. If you're not looking and trying the spirit by the spirit, if you're not acknowledging the soul and the soul's purpose, you're missing it. And that is what is the problem. That's the problem right there.
Quatita, what does it look like to be outside of the physical? You know how you're saying, like, if
it looks like freedom, it looks like soul, it looks like spirit, which you're supposed to be connecting to. That's why we can't elevate outside of the physical realm, because we still are not registering that it exists. When we are outside of these bodies, we're all soul beings.
Mm-hmm. That's the astral body, and a lot of people can't vibrate that high to go up on the mountain to experience the astral
so we
body.
have to take everything that we're looking at outside of the physicality of it.
Yes, the character.
So if I could clarify, if there was a, like, if you know how you give us situations, right? And you'll say that this is what this looks like. Like when you talk about, there's a name, I forgot the person's name, but you always use the same name when you're describing what this looks like in an everyday situation, like a Kim or something like that.
Keisha and Tyrone.
Keisha and Tyrone, gratitude. So if you were going to give an example like that of like a situation and what it looks like to be, how you would react if you were in the physical versus if you were outside of it, what would that look like?
And what kind of scenario?
any scenario, like in the way that you're saying, and I can hear the disappointment in it also, that if we just grasp this, it would fix so many things. So in any circumstance, how would that look? How would a person who is outside of the physical respond to any stimuli? Like, what does that action look like? I don't know how
You
else
have
to
to understand that it isn't real.
Mm-hmm.
That's period.
Like it's a stage of enlightenment.
It's not real. This shit is not real. This fucking table is not real, bro. It's not real.
Mm-hmm.
We are not really doing this.
These extensions of us.
We are communicating via our mental only.
Okay, so going back to the point that I was making earlier, where I was taking that to summarize what it was that I was saying is, who the fuck is a King James? Because to me, when you say, like, if I don't fall for the belief thing either, but I think sometimes we realize that, especially with what you explained the other night with us being luminaries and the clone situation and us just absorbing everything and not even realizing how we're taking it in, even the wealth of knowledge that's here, if you don't find that separation to step outside of yourself, you end up going based on others' beliefs rather than utilizing the teachers of others, like how you see Jazzy dissect the books and then see how that speaks to her and her experience. Because for me, if I ain't experience it on a soul level, spiritual level, on those levels, then it's not a belief of mine. And that's okay, because we're all allowed to have different walks. And that's the beauty of that color spectrum that you were talking about earlier.
If your house is balanced because you have robe, that's not a problem. You understand what I'm saying? That is not a problem for me. But because I don't have a Mike Brown who got killed, don't mean it didn't happen. In the mental existence, like in the physicality, doesn't mean it didn't exist. But I also know they killed Mike Brown because he was a warrior inside of the spirit.
Absolutely
powerful. So he has a placement somewhere in the soul's being that made him powerful, that they took him out in the physicality. So when I say that to you, what I'm saying is we're basing our ethereal lives on physicality, and that doesn't make sense because it doesn't exist.
That's the mirror, as above, so below. That's Avatar. We Jake, and we living as an avatar, but we really inside the little thing somewhere asleep.
That part. So if you can't take yourself out of the physical and see it for what it is in its real state, whether you experience it or not, doesn't mean that shit is not what it is. Because your truth in the physical is your truth in the physical. But when we're talking about ethereal, there's only one soul. That is the master soul of source.
Gratitude. I keep trying to tell these people, the sun and the sky shine on all of us.
This is just your experience here in the physical. So your experience is a balance of masculine and feminine, which is beautiful. But the question was, like, what are the man? You understand what I'm saying? And I understand for you in your existence, it is the balance. But from what I know and what I've been shown, you must honor the source first, period. It is not to downgrade the spirit at all. He is the spirit of your house. You are the soul. But it is balance. And the balance means you must put the source first. It is not a disrespect to the spirit. You think I'm going to disrespect Yehuda? Absolutely the fuck not. But when he tells me what the truth of it is for Quatita, that truth is, it is Adina first. I am not going to feed my husband. I know how some people feel. Feed your husband then. Absolutely not. I'm going to feed my children because my children are my lineage.
As it should be.
Then I'm going to feed that man, and then I'll eat. That's just the way that I will do it. That don't mean everybody else is going to do it that way. You understand what I'm saying? But I do understand that in your physicality, that is your truth. But because I don't have a Mike Brown don't mean Mike Brown didn't get killed in this physical.
That's right.
I don't have to experience it to know that happened somewhere to somebody else in their physicality.
And I also want to say X, which is the woman, come before Y when you say the alphabet.
Ethereal. That ethereal energy is everlasting energy. That's something they can never have.
That's ethereal. That's wisdom, right? Is that wisdom?
Absolutely. Right? Yeah, she's the owl.
So that's the diadem. The diadem is wisdom. Wisdom is your crown. That's God.
That's your ether. Yes.
So I got a book of wisdom that's missing out the Bible, and I teach from the book of wisdom a lot. And in the book of wisdom, it talks about wearing your crown of knowledge, being in alignment with the spirit. What you just said, we got to get out of the physical and get into the spirit and see things spiritually and quit looking at things physically, because the physical is the ego. The physical is I. See, when you look at it from the spiritual, that's how I'm able to read people the way I'm able to read people. I can physically look at your body and tell you what's wrong with you. I was just touching my daughter's feet because I just realized I know the parts of the feet and I can heal you from touching parts of your feet, right? It's like, but I'm operating out of spirit, and people don't know my daddy had to get killed, and my brother had to get killed, and my other brother had to get killed. Like, people don't know what I had to go through to get here. They just see me talking and they like, oh yeah, that's her side. No, like, I went through some stuff, the valleys, because the valley is where the protection is and the knowledge is and the womb is, right? And our last name is Dean, which represents the valley. So my whole life I've been in the valley. Like, so I was sick as a child, and I learned how to astro project by accident. And I saw myself come out my body. I scared the shit out of myself, but I had to go read some books to understand what just happened. You know, I done did all type of stuff with magic, mental magic, and I got to go explain it to myself, because I always knew I was powerful. I used to, like, me and my friend talked about that. I could dream something in my dream and make it a reality. I just now found out that's lucid dreaming. Like, my 19-year-old that was in here, she could look at your birthmark and tell how you died last lifetime. You see what I'm saying? Like, but I had to that's this bloodline. It's my uncle can do it. Like, it's normal that people can do this in the family, but they trying to make it not normal. And then they want to put you on drugs and tell you you crazy and you schizophrenic and you this and, because I have a sister that's actually schizophrenic who is a dean, and that girl, she told me the reason our children got autism because we give them blue 40, the candy, the blue popsicles, certain stuff we ain't even supposed to eat. But then you got people that be like, I don't think, I feel like, no, I got that from spirit directly. We're not supposed to eat blue this and yellow that and red. We're not supposed to do that because you're messing with your chemistry. Right? We the chemists.
I get that. I've heard that about the red, whatever dye, whatever that is. I've heard
red 40. We ain't supposed to be having none of that. We altering our own selves because of our lack of knowledge, and that's the ignorance to ignore something. But like you said, they planting all the seeds through propaganda and everything, and we think we know stuff, and the stuff that you got to get it from spirit. You have to get it from spirit. Even if it's a book, spirit told you to buy that book.
Mm-hmm.
I just said books talk to me. I don't just be like, oh, I'm going to go shopping for books. No, books, I go in stores and books be like, hey, come over here. I'm the book about shapeshifting. You was learning about that yesterday. Come get me. And I go in the book and here go a book about shapeshifting. Then I start studying like Neanderthals. I go in the store, here go the Neanderthal book. Like anything I study, the book, I was outside my job taking a lunch break and I was studying Indians. A man walked up to me and said, "Do I want to buy some books about Indians?" Like, I can't make this stuff up. I be on my last because the day it happened, I get the book. I be like, "Y'all, I got a new book." Like, I got a book. My children bought a book out the trash can. They got the gift too. They bought me a book out the trash can from the Roman Vatican. I'm gonna shut up about that in a minute because we'll be on here all night. But on that book, it talked about how Michelangelo, Leonardo, the Ninja Turtles, them was all artists, and all them artists destroyed everything that we had because it was melanated. They destroyed everything we had, and they Europeanized it, and they call it the Renaissance Fest during medieval times, where they reconstructed all our history.
Yes, David Knight said that he was Michelangelo, that he was the original artist. He said Michelangelo had a mental disorder. How could he ever create these things? And when he looked it up, it said that he did. He was, yes, mentally fucked up. Yes.
And he was enemies with DiCaprio. That was his enemy. And you know, they families both built the underground tunnels in Rome. That's where all them underground tunnels come from. I'll let in, like, this stuff get deep. Like, oh my God.
I'm finna say, Jazzy, they were studying us for like years. A lot of this so-called like this magic and stuff. So they were studying the art of manipulation, which is also a form of an alchemist as well. So once they start learning this magic and that manipulation, they took it and ran with it for a long time. So they using that as a key element to keep us intact and keep our energy in this loop. So the manipulation plays a big old part in this big game of life that we play in.
And what the heart machine do? Manipulate the weather. We the elements of the weather. So when that's the piano on its side, and they slowed it down and messed up the frequency. That's why we off key. Dr. York teaches about that. We off key like a mug because they play in the heart.
Yeah, that's why we small the way we is now, because the frequency was a little bit stronger. We'll be actually taller than what we are as beings. We never was small. Yep.
Like she said, we fell from frequency.
Yep. Everything was big.
And that's Malika thing right there, because Malika do music. So Malika don't even realize she could get us back on the frequency because she got the music. You got the art of music. That's your gift. We need you to play the music. Malika, you there?
Sorry, yeah, I was thinking about what you were saying. Because Quatita was just telling me about my past life and studying the sounds and the frequencies of it. And I've had conversations with individuals before about light language and light language through music and how powerful that is. I find it absolutely. Huh?
I just got chills when you said that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that I mean that's what I do with I know Aubrey had brought it to my attention, like the bottles, because that's what I do with the goddess. Since when I sing into it, and there's studies about how music and sound has an effect on plants, and if you play certain sounds and frequencies for the plants, that they give off better scents when it comes to fragrances. And there's a whole process where you can combine the sound with the moon energy and the sun energy as well. So yeah, I find it very dynamic and beautiful. I wouldn't even know where to start with it.
So the next full moon, can you please lead us in a group meditation? And anybody on here that's watching that's a chief, bring your tribe. Can you do that?
Is this a summer solstice type of meditation? A channeling for like the whole?
I mean, we just need her to show us how to tune our frequencies with the voice, because she got the mother energy. See the Cancer, she the Leo. I mean, it's just all the signs pointing at you, because I'm an astrologist, so I read stars, and the constellations pointing at you right now. So I'm just like, could you,
See, something that I'm working on, Jazzy, is my my confidence especially the confidence to feel that I can practice something in the presence of others with no matter how comfortable the space is, without judging myself. Not even judgment of others, but judging myself. So I have some time that I'm going to give myself to get there, especially with that knowledge was just bestowed on me. What I think that was Quartita last week or the week before, when Quartita was doing the past life readings and realizing the importance and the power of it. But as I practice it, once I do get comfortable with it, then we can definitely do that.
And I want you to call me.
Okay.
Cause I'm about to press some buttons. Doop 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 doop. I'm about to do some Morse code on you, y'all. I got us with that meditation, y'all. I'm Morse code her, cause it's frequency. I'm the Leo, so Leo, I build confidence up in people. I'm Leo. I'm cocky with like I'm Scrooge McDuck with confidence over here. Like I be swimming in it, like backstroking. You feel me? So if you need some confidence, I got you. That's my part of what I work on. You know, everybody got their part, but the fact your confidence, me and you need to politic a little bit so I can Morse code you. We got to start Morse coding each other. Whatever you good at, you do.
I learned something earlier. I think they take some things and they demonize everything. I don't think that. They take things about us and our past, our history, and they demonize it. I was watching something earlier, and he started talking about. Oh, it was actually on Synchronic. He talked about Thailand, and is tying into what Malika just said about her past. She was Lamaria in Thailand. She used frequency, sound, light, for like alchemy and magic to heal. In Thailand, one of the biggest killers of that time, I guess, was a disease that they named malaria. So if she was a healer in Thailand named Lamaria, I believed who she was demonized at some point and turned around, and her magic was used to like destroy her name, her lineage. And instead of them calling it Lamaria, they called it malaria.
So it say Plasmodium, mainly found in Africa, is the most common type of malaria, and it is a parasite and is responsible for the malaria deaths worldwide. Through the treatment does cure the infection. So the parasites, y'all ever seen the movie? What's the movie? When the little aliens come down and they like slugs. Remember you talked about slugs years ago.
The body
Them
snatchers.
The parasites. Yeah, them the parasites. The slugs. They inside our stomach right now. That's why we need to get the herbalists out here, because we got to get these parasites, because the war is in the universe. You got to go within the fight. Didn't you say Malika is the breastplate? We was talking about cancer. She the breastplate, right? She a cancer, and the cancer part of the zodiac is the breastplate. So we got to get the cancers together to protect the breast, because we are suffering from breast cancer in the physical, right? And breast cancer comes from not detoxing, right? That's because people wearing deodorant. I learned that from Crystal Alkaline Doula. She say if you clog your pores up with deodorant, the detox have nowhere to go but back into the breast. You're supposed to be free in civilization with them breasts, not poison them. That's how they poisoning the woman, so everybody live within us because we in the womb. But like you said, we got to separate from the physical and see it in the spiritual. We all inside one body.
So what was you about to say, Malika?
Oh no, I was just saying that's powerful, that extra extension to my past life, to see how it's always twisted or it's turned into something negative. And
Mm-hmm.
then the compassion that I have, um which is part of the conversation we were having earlier, like I keep thinking about the Black Mirror episode, that Demon 79, and how I received it, and
Yes.
how beautiful it was to me, and
Yes.
how beautiful the connection. Like I didn't see any of the labels, any of the terminology, any of that. It was just like, this connection is so beautiful to me, to um
They wanted you to know he was really good. That's why he had on all white.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Because even in her human self, he was trying to talk her out of making certain mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's supposed to be, according to what is taught or conditioned, the wicked one. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you look so scary and you're this horrible thing. And and he was trying to talk her out of her own thoughts and what the plan she wanted to go with. But anyway, sorry for those who haven't seen it yet. But I was just gonna say that that's really powerful.
Well, I believe exactly what you said when you first told me about the episode. The fact that they used a Melanite man to represent the demon was powerful all in itself.
Yeah. And you
Uh,
know what? Z Energy, have you watched that episode of Black Mirror? Because I would love to hear how you would
mm,
dissect that.
I haven't got into that yet. I was getting into the lock and key and stuff, and the 100, what it said, the 4400 and stuff like that. I'll be watching shows like that and stuff. But I was gonna
Mhm.
say, the governors. Do you know about the when you were saying about the malaria?
Mm-hmm.
I really think the queen of voodoo, which is Marie Laveau,
Laveau?
yeah,
Yeah.
Laveau has ties to that name. She's a descendant. I think
Really?
she's one. Yeah, I think she's got ties to the name. I think she's a descendant.
I would
Don't
not
quote me if
doubt
I'm
it.
wrong. Yeah, because she was very powerful. You remember
She still
she was
is. She still walks
yeah
today.
yeah. She's very powerful. She had spells in place that still was putting people in like fear. You know what I mean?
I channeled her the other night when I did that work. I had to lay some work down and I had to channel her the other day. And I understand that we don't use the power the way we should, the way we need to.
I would like for us to use it though. That's why I was saying like we need to know like what we have to do to
Hell
get
nah.
you know.
I'm sorry. Oh hell nah. Guess what her name means, Quatita?
Whose?
Nita, I know you on here watching this live, and I told you long time ago I knew I was connected to Marie Laveau. Then when Quatita talked about it and said she knew she was connected to Marie Laveau, I said our last name then mean Valley. Girl, Marie Laveau last name mean Valley. I'm done.
Valley of
I
Death.
need to go lay down. I need to go lay down. My head is I need
She
a
had a
minute.
lot of, but she had
I need,
children. She had children, so you know that name and that family, that lineage, kind of like pulled in and out. You know what I mean?
I
So
believe her
a lot.
children were replicas of herself. Go ahead, Z.
I'm gonna
I'm
wait.
sorry. I'm computing this.
Go ahead, Z.
I'm just waiting for the tone to sound down. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Now, I believe that Marie still walks today. I believe that people believe that she had children because, like, her daughter was Marie Laveau II. I believe she's ageless and timeless. There's a movie called The Age of Adeline. And in this movie, Adeline has a daughter actually, but her daughter becomes very old and she passes away or whatever, I'm sure eventually. But in this movie, she uses her as her grandmother because she becomes ageless. So Adeline doesn't age. So when she comes back across a gentleman that she used to date, she said, "Oh no, that was my grandmother." Because how else can you explain the fact that you don't age? Santa Muerte, which is Shantae Saposi, said Marie Laveau came to her and told her, this is how powerful Marie is. She told her, she said, "You've been gone for 3,000 years. You don't know that you're gone." She said it wasn't until then that she understood. So listen, I'm so distracted and irritated by this chat. Like, I don't understand. I see that once I said what I said, it rectified whatever was happening in the chat. Like, the build that was happening here on this live is so good. And I want to say, if you have to argue in my chat, never come back to my chat again. I said it and I mean it. And it's so irritating to me. Gratitude. Anyway. I know that in the live that we did, they also connected Marie Laveau to Harriet Tubman, and I believe it's so much that that I understand, but I also may misunderstand in some capacities as well. So I don't know, but I know it's a lot to it, and I know that she's timeless or ageless in some ways. She's super powerful, one of the most powerful brujas that there is. You ready, Z?
I was just saying how the descendants of Laveau, it goes a long ways, because the children always bear the power from that lineage.
Yes.
And it carries a long ways and stuff like that. So it never fades, or it's always in them. You know what I mean? So we got to understand that different trees, families carry that name, and they also carry that power as well with them.
I've met some of her people before. They actually were followers, and they told me, they said, when you come down to New Orleans, we would love to meet you. We are descendants of Marie Laveau. And I absolutely love that. She has a shop. She doesn't, but Genomes have a shop. It's called the Marie Laveau shop in New Orleans. I've been there a couple of times. They have a picture. This is how deep it is. They have a picture of an old lady. They said nobody has ever depicted Marie Laveau in her true form as how she looks. There's never been a picture. She's never taken a picture. Anything that you've seen that is Marie Laveau, it is not her. Because she has never allowed anyone to depict her physical being. So they have this old lady's picture, and they say, oh, this is how Marie looked at 80 something. We're not sure, but this was what somebody made a depiction of. In their mind, this is how she looked at 80 years old before her passing. Now, you can give money to it. You can give change to it. You can put things up on this altar in this store. However, the one thing you cannot do is take a picture of it. They will get you for that, for whatever reason.
It's some kind of disrespecting the place and their family, they history or the lineage of what they're doing. It's some type of ritual they got. Maybe.
I don't know. I just thought that was so. I think it's not weird or crazy. I just think it's deep. You know what I mean? Like, because they like no pictures.
They don't give you a reason why?
From what they mean, you know what, Malika? When I was going to do it, they was like, no, you're not allowed to take any pictures of that at all. And I'm like, okay, is there a reason? And it's like disrespectful. You just can't do it. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, I wonder if it transcends into something. Like, will you see something? Like, I don't know. I wonder though.
Right.
Gotcha.
They have one.
I know y'all over me saying something, but so the phones are contraptions, And the phone captures, like when you take pictures of people, you capture an essence of their soul. And the fact that she's still walking the earth, you cannot capture no essence of her soul. That's why.
And she's never had her picture taken. Like, I know
she
what
don't
she
want her.
told me that she looks like. You know what I'm saying? I know that she supposedly, she says she is biracial, you know, and her hair has a reddish tint to it. It almost looks orangish, but it's red. I know she has freckles. She's extremely beautiful, and ageless. To me, anytime I see her, she looks like she's in her mid 20s. You know what I mean? Early 30s. Like, she looks ageless to me.
There's also a cult, a tribe named after her as well.
I can believe it. I love Marie Laveau. I don't know enough about her. I wish I did know more about her. You know, I probably should study her more because she talks to me a lot. She called me down she wanted me to actually go to the Bayou, but I was afraid to go down there. I did go to New Orleans a few times. She called me there. She told me to go there, and I did. When I left North Carolina after the whole thing with the witches happened in Atlanta, I'm gonna call them queens. They can't be witches. They're queens. And now that we know, when the shit with the queens happened in Atlanta, and she called me down there and told me I needed to go there
To the swamp.
to the swamp.
I got this rock from the swamp in New Orleans.
Really? I feel like I need to go again and actually go to the swamp.
You want to go? Let's go. Yeah. I need to go with you because I can show you a lot. I'm telling you, when this live over, girl, I gotta call you and tell you about New Orleans. Like, oh God. But
we put together a trip, like a retreat for like a few people to go and, like, you know what I'm saying, touch some things, look at some things, you know, and see.
I would love that because when I went and I touched the tree, I saw how many people got hung on it. Like, we got to go heal them trees down there.
Yes, I hug trees. I talk to them. I love trees.
But in the South, they got strange fruit on their trees. We got to go down there and heal them trees that our people got killed on because they was using us to kill us because we is the trees.
Yes.
And some massive trees.
Go ahead, Z.
I was gonna say it's some massive trees in Florida that's bigger than the, you know, I'm gonna say a house. You know what I'm saying? The branches itself is like, I'm gonna say about 8 feet wide. Then it extends out like 30 feet. They still got some of these trees in exhibition. They got a park around these, like I think about 3 of them, and it's a park. And it surrounds it, and it's a historical park. And these trees are so big, man. Like, when you see them, you be like, I'm gonna take some pictures of them. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna let you see them.
Like that.
Go there. Yes, I want to go there. And
that's a man sitting on a tree
too.
That's a man
talk to the souls that are in these places. What's at the top of the tree?
That's a man sitting on top of this tree.
I saw somebody in the chat when we first started this live. They said their mother said last night that she saw a man standing on the moon that had some sort of string hanging down, like you would see when a movie starting. The little boy's up there with the fishing pole. She said her mother said she saw that last night on the moon. I saw it in the chat when we first started.
Yeah, this Mark Twain book about Mississippi. And we used to live inside the trees. They got a house inside the tree. I'm trying to show y'all, but can't really see it. Like, to show you how massive he's saying these trees was. We lived inside these trees.
I can believe it because that's why they brought trees in for Christmas. They said there were souls or spirits in the trees. And the trees would talk. And so we didn't lost Z. And so that's why they would bring the trees into the house.
That's Nimrod's spirit, the wicked ruler of Babylon. His spirit in the evergreen tree. So we resurrecting his energy by participating in the shenanigans.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
But y'all, we've been on here for 3 hours.
Yeah, it was supposed to be another 30 minutes and then turned it to an hour.
I need to show. Can I just share the screen? I want to show you this tree where I live at.
Yes.
It's so ancient. It's beautiful. It's big.
Go ahead. Man, I just looked down. I got scratches on both of my knees. I have no idea where they came from. I have my nails. My nails can't scratch. I don't know where these scratches have come from. Oh, that's one of the new movies, ain't it?
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
Look at that.
That is amazing. Wow.
Which part of Florida is that in, Z?
That's amazing.
I don't know if he's talking or not. You're on mute, Z, if you're talking.
Yeah, I can hear you now. It's going in and out when I be on. I was flashing the tree. I'm in Jacksonville right now, though.
Is that
where's the tree at?
Yeah, that's in Jacksonville. It's downtown. It's an exhibition, historical monument. These like the biggest trees, and they bigger than the building.
I think I've
now
seen those pictures with that tree.
Now, didn't y'all say, Quatita and Malika say that Papa Candelo is from Florida and that is originally Cuba?
Yeah. He's from Cuba. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, them trees is ancient, and they still got a couple of them that haven't even cut down, and the branches are so big. You can actually run on these branches. You can climb on it and actually just run on it. It's just so long.
It's very amazing to me because even when we found out about Cuba and Florida and we started listening and they said that California was an island, and if you go and pull up some of the older maps, you will see that California was an island. It sat by itself, kind of just branched off of everything. How old would this plane of existence have to be for shit to shift and move like that? Because remember, this was Pangea, where this was all one thing before it separated into different continents.
Then they start calling it Turtle Island. All the islands was turtles.
Yeah, that native term, Turtle Island. Mm-hmm.
I wonder what significance that is to it. It got some significance. We got to figure it out.
And sometimes if you look at some of the older maps that we're speaking of, you kind of have to really flip it upside down. And the spirit told me that like flip it upside down. And when I flipped it upside down, a lot of shit made more sense when it was upside down.
East is west and west is the opposite. And not only that, this goes back to the movie The Avatar, because the Avatar was like, I'm gonna say like a documentary, you know what I mean? Because they really talking about us in that documentary. So those blue people that's walking around that's 8 foot tall or whatever, and they always stay in these kind of rainforest like trees and these big massive trees and stuff like that. And they was like connected to nature. Then they had this one big tree that they call the great tree or whatever they called it, which was the tree that operates that whole world.
Absolutely.
I would really like to implore you to watch that episode of Black Mirror called Demon 79. I just want to know, with your knowledge, the insights you have on like even with what happens with her with the domino and that being connected to the activation of specific demonic energies, quotation. And just knowing what your insight is on that, if you see any symbolism or in anything that is in the episode. It's just that episode. I think that's what it's called, right, Quatita? Demon 79?
Demon 79, yeah.
If you could just watch just that episode and when you come back again, let us know your thoughts. And if you saw anything in it that would let us know even more that the people that create Black Mirror are sending out messages and symbols and stuff.
Just like American Horror Story.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did anybody see the trailer of the Creator?
I haven't even heard of it.
Okay, I can play it for you. Hold on.
All right, well, let Z play this, and I guess we get out of here, child. It's been 3 hours.
We was going
quick, and we done been on here 3 hours on this real quick. We was going. Oh, let me put it up.
So somebody said they use trees as portals on Stranger Things. I'm about to go talk to my children, and that's they stuff right there.
What's heaven?
It's a peaceful place in the sky.
Are you going to heaven?
Uh-oh.
No.
Can y'all hear that?
We can hear it, we can't see it no more.
You gotta be a good person.
There you go. Okay.
What's heaven?
It's a peaceful place in the sky.
Are you going to heaven?
No.
Why not?
You gotta be a good person to go to heaven.
10 years ago today, the artificial intelligence created to protect us detonated a nuclear warhead in Los Angeles. For as long as AI is a threat, we will never stop hunting them. This is a fight for our very existence.
Whatever's in there, they're sure worried about someone getting in.
Yeah, we're getting out.
Come back to you. We're the same. We can't go to heaven because you're not good. And I'm not a person.
Did you locate the weapon?
Yeah, it's a kid.
Seatbelts.
What do you want with the child? We are this close to winning the war. Execute her, or we go extinct.
They're coming to get me.
Now that's deep. That's deep. Why they always got us fighting and battling technology and AI?
Yeah, I said the same thing. I said the same thing.
So is it inevitable or is it conditioning?
I think it's conditioning.
Mm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it trying to run another program? They're trying to make us like fear the technology or something like that.
But
they telling us the truth at the same time, but we got to look past the illusion. That's where she said we got to look at it spiritually and not physically. Because physically, we already won. Y'all got to remember that. We already won. So past the message, we already won.
If they know that, why are they still creating then?
Because if they could keep us in our mind thinking that it's still going, we keeping it. We the creators of the Matrix. This is how they keeping the Matrix going by. Got us participating in stuff we don't. ignorance. We don't know because we ain't doing it from the spirit, the soul. If we was doing stuff from the soul, we wouldn't be going to the movies. We'd be outside meditating. If we was doing stuff from the soul, we wouldn't argue with each other because we'd be outside in the sun meditating. We wouldn't be sick because we'd be outside in the sun meditating. Like we used to eat the sun. We would be outside in the sun meditating. We the Zulu, we the sun people.
Facts.
I know that it's a lot that we're still missing, and even just listening and keep thinking about the AI, I know that we are in the simulation. This shit is not real.
It's the real against the fake. So we the aboriginals, the original carbons, and they copying us with the technology. But the technology is like in the movie 100s. Remember in 100s they sent them out on the ark, and then like, you gonna help me see with the 100 movie.
Yeah, man, we be going at this for another hour. I'm not.
Yeah, let's get off because we all got stuff to do. That's right. Somebody got to be in charge. We gotta go.
Well,
we be on here till tomorrow breaking down that.
I appreciate y'all for coming up and even having the conversation. And I show gratitude to everybody in the chat, our family in the community. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all too. No, I bless y'all.
Much love to you.
Gratitude.
Everybody. Much love. Much
gratitude
throughout the chat. Our ancestors, everything that we even stand for.
All right, y'all. Bless y'all. Peace.
Much bliss. Yo.